Chapter 1437. The Forge God Ambassador and Lord Kuan were proving themselves. The two laughed out loud, crossed the broken path, and headed for the source. Under normal circumstances, it would be extremely dangerous. But now the source was in chaos. To prove one's Tao was to seek death. It was the most dangerous time to condense the fruit of Tao. However, it was different this time. Fang Ping was stirring up trouble at the source. The Heaven Conqueror was fighting against the Emperor God. Emperor Nan had fallen. The Emperor's power was weakened. At this moment, Fang Ping shouted again, "Humans, break through the ninth heaven and destroy the immortal source. Chu Wu, if you want to get rid of everything, do it together." As soon as he said this, the void trembled. The next second, Wang Jinyang stepped in the air and said with a smile, "Top human martial artists, come with me and break through the ninth heaven." Break through the ninth heaven. A shout echoed in all directions. The next second, hundreds of powerhouses leaped up, broke through the void and charged toward the ninth heaven. One person could not break through the ninth heaven. What about all of them? At the same time, in the catacombs, the Monster Emperor and the others looked at each other. The next second, the Monster Emperor shouted, "Monsters above the monarch realm, follow me and break through the ninth heaven. Charge!" Shouts of fighting were heard. At the Chu Wu land, the god of the underworld shouted, "Those above the Heaven Conqueror realm, kill!" Rumble! Heaven and earth were broken. Many powerhouses leaped up. Today, they would break through the ninth heaven and destroy the immortal source. The human sovereign was gone. Emperor of Heaven Reverse and the East Sovereign's avatars were still there. But they were only avatars. What could they do? There were many experts in the three realms. There were a bunch of people who could break through to 8, but not everyone could break through to 9. But what could they do if they could not break through the 9? In the void, Luan and Sherpa laughed. Luan shouted, "Boys, here is our chance. Demon King, kill the human sovereign, we will break through the ninth heaven and destroy the immortal source. Follow me." Boom. Space was broken. One powerhouse after another dashed out and charged toward the ninth heaven. The 9 sovereigns? So what? They wanted to see how far Fang Ping could go and how far he could push the 9 sovereigns. Among the experts of the 3 realms, some had confirmed their Daos, and some had killed their way into the 9 heavens. This was the moment. Take the initiative to attack. Without waiting for the world wall to shatter, without waiting for the 3 realms to return to 1, at this moment, he had destroyed the monarch's plan and escaped the monarch's control. 9 heavens. The avatar of Emperor of Heaven Reverse and the avatar of the Eastern Emperor looked at each other and shook their heads. This is troublesome. There were too many at the 3 emperors breaking the 8 barrier. 2 avatars were not enough. Emperor of Heaven Reverse and Sovereign East were strong, but avatars were just avatars. The danger wasn't just that. At this moment, in the 7th heaven, Shu Xiang laughed. "Since you've all proven your Tao, I'll join in the fun. After all, becoming an emperor is stronger than breaking through the 9th heaven." As soon as he finished speaking, the scholarly fragrance source disappeared. In the next moment, 3 scholars appeared outside the 3 gates. The short servant was extremely domineering at this moment. His aura was wild as he laughed and said, "Master, if you don't want to become an emperor, then I will become an emperor on your behalf." As soon as he finished speaking, the 3 doors shattered. The 3 paths led straight to the 3 doors and converged in an uninhabited space. In the next moment, a book materialized in this empty space. An object of the source of the great Tao. Fruit of the Tao accumulation. "Who dares to steal my Tao fruit?" Shu Xiang roared. "Who dares?" At this moment, the Beast King's tail was cut off by Fang Ping. The Beast King had broken the 6th heaven and was busy suppressing the Beast King. The Beast King had no time to pay attention to Shu Xiang. Even when the battle broke out, the Beast King stayed in closed-door cultivation. Emperor Nan had fallen and Emperor Shi had retreated to the 8th heaven to guard his own territory, fearing that he would be affected. North Emperor, Emperor Renhuang, Emperor East, and the Heaven Do still had some energy left. However, the seventh heaven was in turmoil. The Emperor God was fighting against the heaven-suppressing king. Emperor of Heaven Reverse was suppressing the seventh heaven, his own territory, and even the Emperor God's territory. The powerful Emperor of Heaven Reverse was suppressing 3 cracks on his own. The remaining 3, including the human Emperor, remained motionless with a strange look in his eyes. Emperor Dongwang closed his eyes and said nothing. Only Emperor North was tempted. But at this moment, he was powerless. Hong Kuan, God-forging ambassador, and Xu Xiang began the unification. Convergence. The 3 powerhouses were condensing their Tao fruit and proving their Tao. Will you kill them or not? Will you have time to kill them? Can you kill them? The crisis of the 9th heaven, the crisis of the source. At this moment, the Emperor God's eyes burst out with terrifying power. He shouted, "Fight, kill them, I am suppressing the source." The Emperor God bellowed and his chi and blood rushed to the sky. At this moment, there were many shadows of Emperor God above the Emperor God's head. One person suppressing the 7th heaven, one person suppressing the 36th heaven, his own territory. One person suppressing the 27th heaven, the battle of territories. 3 shadows suppressing the 3rd heaven. The Emperor God was suppressing the 3rd heaven alone, and he still had the energy to deal with the Heavenly King of Suppression. The Heavenly King of Suppression roared and attacked him madly. At the 8th heaven, Fang Ping was also destroying in a frenzy, forcing the Beast King to suppress with all his might. The next moment, Fang Ping broke through and entered the 9th heaven. There was no one here. Fang Ping did not care. He continued to break through forcefully and madly attacked the North King. At the 15th heaven, the North King's expression changed. He completely dispelled the idea of snatching other people's Tao fruit. He shouted and the entire space was sealed. He did not want Fang Ping to come and ruin his plan. He was not afraid of Fang Ping. But once the source was disturbed, he might be completely pinned down at the source. "How are you going to sit and watch?" The Emperor God bellowed. The Emperor of Heaven Reverse had already gone to stop Fang Ping. But Dongwang did not move. Dongwang glanced at them and said lightly, "I am going to suppress the source." Dongwang broke the void and disappeared in the blink of an eye. He was going to suppress the source. "Gee, what about you?" The Emperor God raised his eyebrows. He took a look at the 3 people who were converging and said with a smile, "The 3 of them. I may not be able to kill them. Never mind, I will go and stop them in case they get in your way." With those words, the Emperor God left to stop the 3 from stirring up trouble. "Chen Xian beast!" The Emperor God shouted again. "What are the 3 of you doing? The Emperor of Heaven Reverse has gone to suppress Fang Ping. What are the 3 of you worried about? What are you looking at? 8 sovereigns and 1 emperor. Emperor Nan is dead and there are still 8 people left. Can't these people be suppressed?" The Beast King bellowed. With his dragon tail broken, he was extremely furious. Hearing this, he bellowed and quickly rushed out of the 6th heaven. And at this moment, suddenly, a saber appeared between heaven and earth. Someone laughed and said, "I also want to prove my Tao for fun." Rumble. The 3 gates were broken. The 3 great paths went straight to the source, straight to the 9th heaven. In the blink of an eye, a blood saber condensed. A person stepped in the air and laughed, "Beast King, I will play with you." Buzz. The saber broke the sky. A large saber, breaking the heavens and earth, slashed toward the Beast King. The Beast King roared again, unable to restrain his anger. The new emperor actually wanted to kill him. Damn it. Today, another new emperor was born. The saber that slashed out the 9th heaven previously. Qin Fengqing. At this moment, a person condensed in the void and laughed, "Xiaolong, come, come, Grandpa will play with you." Slash. The long saber slashed again. The murderous aura shook the sky. The Beast King was furious. The 2 of them quickly fought at the border of the world, their blood qi piercing the heavens and earth. On the other side, Fang Ping laughed, "Good, Qin Fengqing, if you still don't come, I will have misjudged you. Ha ha, don't flatter yourself." In the void, the figure laughed, "You think I am doing this for you? You are wrong. I am not doing this for you. I am the descendant of the Guardian clan. The Tao of Heaven and the Tao of all realms is not something that you, Fang Ping, can order around." "Screw you!" Fang Ping cursed. He turned around and slashed at the Emperor of Heaven reverse. The Emperor of Heaven reverse threw a punch in the air. After a boom, Fang Ping's saber trembled and his blood qi surged. He spat out a mouthful of blood. Without another word, he fled to another direction. At this moment the source was in a mess. Xu Xiang and the other two fought against the human sovereign, Guardian King against the Emperor God, Fang Ping against the Emperor God, and Qin Fengqing against the Beast King. Emperor East had gone to the celestial source. Emperor North, Emperor Spirit, and Emperor West had not made a move yet. The chaos of the celestial source will do no one any good. At this moment, the Emperor God shouted again, "Spirit, what's your choice?" "Humph!" The Spirit King snorted and the void shook. And at this moment, a cat broke through the air and arrived. Meow. A fat cat was sitting on the ground. Looking at the Spirit King who was about to arrive, the cat said in sorrow, "Fatty, are you going to kill a cat?" The Spirit King frowned and shouted, "Step back! The source cannot be disturbed." Meow. The cat did not step back. Right at this moment, a man came out from the cat's mouth. Old Zhang walked out and said with a smile, "Spirit King, you want to be an enemy of the humans as well?" The Spirit King glared at him coldly. Old Zhang laughed, "I don't think so." At these words, the celestial source trembled. At this moment, Old Zhang's energy surged. In the blink of an eye, outside the 3 gates of the celestial source, someone was approaching. Old Zhang. The body of origin was here. "I will use the energy of humanity to become a sovereign for a short time. Don't panic." In the human world, many martial artists collapsed to the ground. Old Zhang's energy surged. With a boom, the 3 gates were broken. The next moment, fruits of Tao were forming in the first heaven. At this point, he could not care less anymore. He wanted to hide his strength before, but now, he did not care anymore. Boom. In front of the cat, Old Zhang's vitality was surging. His energy was terrifyingly powerful. He looked at the Spirit King and said with a faint smile, "I can still stop you." The Spirit King sneered. He was a little disdainful. At this moment, the cat suddenly turned gray and divine weapons appeared in its claws. It jumped on Old Zhang's head and said angrily, "2 against 1, I'll beat you up." The Spirit King's expression changed slightly. "You want to go against me too?" The cat was speechless and felt a little wronged. Old Zhang laughed and said, "Cat, this is not going against her, this is saving her. You know Fang Ping's personality. Once they become enemies, he will definitely kill her. Is she a match for Fang Ping? Stopping her is the same as saving her." As soon as he said this, the cat seemed to have found support and immediately said, "Yes. Big Fatty, go back quickly or you will be beaten to death. You can't not go back, I won't let you go." "Awo!" The cat roared fiercely, but there was no ferocity in it. Old Zhang chuckled and didn't mind. His goal was not to fight the Spirit King, it was enough to stop her. At this moment, a palm broke through the air and came toward Old Zhang and the others. North King. Without Fang Ping's threat, North King was still tempted. At the same time, in the catacombs, a figure was extremely fierce and cruel, suddenly swallowing. With this swallow, the catacombs' ground that was the size of a province disappeared, including people, including cities, including all living things. Awo! A shrill howl was heard, extremely bloody. A dog's head appeared in the sky of the 3 realms. It was extremely ferocious. "You're asking for death." There was a loud boom. Countless vitality condensed. In the next moment, in the void, a blood-colored great path condensed, and an extremely domineering golden dog walked in the air, crossing the broken path in the blink of an eye. Heavenly Hound. Extremely ferocious. It had already broken 9, but it did not have the energy to cross the great path, directly devouring millions of catacombs living beings. It forcefully condensed a great path. Boom! With a loud explosion, the 3 gates shattered, and the Heavenly Hound directly entered the source, biting towards North King. North King's heart trembled. He no longer cared about killing and quickly returned to his own territory because the Heavenly Hound was currently devouring the heaven and earth that he had taken root in. This dog was too crazy. Celeste. The Emperor God shouted again. At this moment, West King looked left and right, a little innocent and a little helpless. The fight is like this? West King sighed. How did the fight end up like this? It was too terrifying. What if they came to destroy his heaven and earth? At this moment, West King looked at the 8th heaven and said with some reluctance, "Will someone come to kill? It's too dangerous. If it's destroyed, won't I be trapped?" Sigh, I don't want to. As soon as he said that, to everyone's shock, a large amount of energy suddenly emerged from West King's body. It was terrifyingly powerful, and there was endless powerful origin chi. The 8th heaven suddenly calmed down. Then, cracks appeared in the void. These cracks, however, quickly healed. "It's you!" Someone shouted. West King. West King smiled. "It's not me. I picked him up." Don't misunderstand, everyone. Continue, I'm just a bystander. As soon as he finished speaking, the cracks in the 8th heaven rumbled and healed completely. West King roared with laughter. Suddenly, his blood and chi burst through the sky and broke through the source. In the next moment, a huge hand came from the 3 realms. It didn't attack anyone, but it grabbed at the void. "Silly son, why are you still watching the show? Run. The situation is urgent, run. Ha ha ha." His laughter pierced through the 3 realms. West King grabbed the West Imperial Palace and disappeared with it in the blink of an eye. His voice resounded through the world. "I'll be leaving first. Call me when the final battle is over. Ha! I've been trapped in the source for millions of years. Today, I'm free. I want to run free. This sky, this land, this sea, it's so beautiful. Ha ha ha." West King laughed madly. "I've broken free. I've won. You guys go fight. 1 death counts, the rest has nothing to do with me." Celeste. At this moment, many emperors shouted angrily. They didn't expect that the first emperor to escape in the 3 realms was actually West King. And at this moment, West King actually ran away. In West Imperial Palace, a person's head popped out. Celestial Pole looked at his father in shock and was speechless for a long time. His weak father was actually the first to escape. "Ha ha, silly son, isn't your father awesome? Isn't your father awesome? Is your father smart? Don't look anymore. Let's go to the ends of the earth and see the world. The world is so big. Let's go and see. I'll accompany you to the ends of the earth." "Ha!" West King laughed. The opportunity was too good. At this moment the experts were all attracted. Otherwise, it would be difficult for him to escape. Normally, even if he had the power of Emperor Nan, once he used it, it would attract the attention of others. He might be chased by the emperors. Now come on. I'm not afraid. The 3 realms had become so chaotic, which was also beyond his expectations. It was too fast, too chaotic, so chaotic that no one had spare energy to chase him now that he was running away. Run with the wind, freedom is the direction. Chase the power of thunder and lightning. The singing started. West King was in a good mood. A song spread throughout the 3 realms. "I'm going to chase freedom, chase the thunder and lightning. You guys fight on your own." Anyway, he would not participate. At this moment, the 3 realms were stunned. Celestial Pole's father was very similar to Celestial Pole. No, Celestial Pole was very similar to his father. This old fellow was too treacherous and too unexpected. Many of the three realms' powerhouses were now trapped in the source, while he had escaped from the source. The first emperor to escape from the source. Moreover, he seemed to have calculated that if West King had been cultivating and absorbing those stellar stones, he might have been stronger than Emperor Nan, but he did not. He would rather give them to Fong Ping and the others. Why? It was not because he could not absorb any more, but to maintain a balance of power with Emperor Nan. Otherwise, Emperor Nan was too weak and he was too strong. He could not use Emperor Nan's power to repair the cracks in the Great Tao. There was only balance. Their strength was about the same. Therefore, West King and Emperor Nan had always been on par. It was not really on par, but for the sake of being on par. Today, everyone saw through it. See area. Some people were also extremely surprised. Taoist Fengyun looked at the distant West King and suddenly laughed. He could not help but laugh. He was indescribably impressed. What was this? The powerhouses of the three realms were now trapped, including the few who had just proven their Tao. And now, an emperor had escaped. West King. The inconspicuous West King was truly powerful. Emperor Nan's death was definitely related to this guy. Today's chaos could be said to be caused by West King. He won, he succeeded. When the chaos broke out, he ran away. He was also the only emperor to escape in so many years. Taoist Fengyun laughed. Beside him, Earth Xing opened his eyes and said, dumbfounded, "That works too? Why not?" Taoist Fengyun laughed. He ran away. The cracks have been mended. Similar to the sun god, he ran away with his power. Unless the source is completely destroyed, it will not affect him. Why would he not run? Where can he run to? The three realms are so big. He can find a spatial crack and hide. He won't come out until the end of the world. Who would deliberately look for him and kill him? Earth Xing was speechless. There was no way to refute that. He was an emperor, after all, and he could go all out. No, an emperor who ran around the three realms. Would you go after him? What good would it do to kill him? Those who were of equal strength might not be able to kill him. Those who were powerful might not be able to make up for their flaws by killing him. Then killing him would be in vain. Since that was the case, he was harmless. Why would you kill him? Earth Xing was speechless. He suddenly said, "Lord, have you left the source?" "No." Taoist Fengyun smiled faintly. "It's not that simple. Besides, if I were to escape, it would not be as simple as him. Killing Emperor Nan would be enough." Taoist Fengyun smiled and looked again at West King, who had already disappeared without a trace. He laughed again. There was some envy in his laughter. Smart man. He was also a ruthless man. At their level, who was not afraid of death, who was not afraid of being killed, who was not working hard to improve their strength. He did not. West King did not. He kept his eyes on Emperor Nan. He was as strong as Emperor Nan was. Even if he could absorb star stones again, even if he could improve, he did not. He refused the temptation of strength. "I will keep my eyes on you. How strong you are, how strong I am. If you die, you can just make up for the hole that I left. What about the others? If the Divine Emperor killed Emperor Nan, could it make up for the hole? No. The stronger one was, the harder it was to escape. But West King succeeded. Being able to endure what others could not. Improving strength was everyone's dream. West King did not care. Fong Ping did not understand the value of 15 star stones. Now, except for a few emperors who had surpassed 100 million, no one else could take out so many star stones. Emperor Nan really only had 2. Beast Emperor did not even have as many as Emperor Nan. West King had 15 star stones. Since Fong Ping and Heavenly King suppression could improve, how could West King not improve at all? He did not want it. He wanted to be like Emperor Nan. If you are so strong, I am so strong. I don't care how others improve. He succeeded. The battle at the source paused for a moment because of West King's free and easy departure. He actually ran away. He swaggered away. Before he left, he even sang a song to express his desire for freedom. Even Fong Ping was impressed. "You are amazing!" Not only him, but behind Fong Ping, Emperor of Heaven Reverse also looked back with a strange look in his eyes. Celestial, ambitious. Yes, ambitious. He had been eyeing Emperor Nan for countless years, and would not stop until he was dead. But for tens of thousands of years, Emperor Nan had treated him as a brother, a military advisor, and a guiding light in life. If he was not ambitious, what was he? Emperor Nan probably never doubted West King until his death. 9 emperors and 9 emperors, one died, one ran away, and the earthly emperor was not here. Only 7 were left. At this moment, in the source, there were many powerhouses from the 3 realms. Fong Ping, Heavenly King Suppression, Cat, Book Fragrance, Hong Kuan, Heavenly Hound, Old Zhang, God Creation, 8 top-notch powerhouses. If it were not for the difference in strength, just looking at the number of people, they would even exceed the number of emperors. But emperors needed to suppress the source. At this moment, Book Fragrance, who was fighting with the emperor, suddenly laughed. "Everyone, if we shake the source, we will be injured and die. It is nothing. Let the source shake. I want to see if Grandmaster can suppress the source alone." As soon as he finished, the source of the heaven and earth he was suppressing shook. Rumble. The void cracked. Book Fragrance spilled blood and laughed. "Is this considered hurting each other?" Ah. Boom. Heaven and earth shook. Huge cracks pierced through the layers of heaven and earth and began to shake the source land. The God Creation envoy's eyes lit up and he laughed. "Then let's do it together." Rumble. Another layer of heaven shook. The God Creation envoy also spurted out blood, but he still laughed out loud. "Continue. How many layers of heaven can you suppress? Can you suppress the flaws left behind by the emperors? Divine Emperor, aren't you powerful? Try it today." At this moment, Heavenly King Suppression suddenly laughed wildly. F***ck Book Fragrance, you have a way. As expected, scholars are full of evil trick. I didn't expect that. Boom. This time, a huge explosion caused the entire source to tremble violently. Heavenly King Suppression also gave up on suppressing it. "Come on. Hurt each other. I'm not going to fight anymore. Even if you give up on the suppression of the source land, 1 emperor and 1 whole, will you suppress it or not? If you don't suppress it, then we'll be finished together." One by one, the newly advanced emperors gave up on suppressing it and allowed themselves to suffer the backlash. Heavenly King Suppression roared, "Go and destroy the source of the Beast Emperor, North Emperor, and the others. Let the source land move and everyone will die together." Not only did they not suppress the origin land, they even continued to cause trouble. If they died, they would die together. Let the origin land shatter. Let's see who's more afraid of death. The strength of the newly advanced emperors was naturally inferior to that of the veteran emperors. However, at this moment they did not care. They wanted to see who was more ruthless, who cherished their lives more, and who cared more. The divine emperor's eyes were gloomy. He could suppress 3 layers of heaven, or even more, but these people were shattering 1 layer of heaven and earth after another. If this continued, the entire source land would explode. To be honest, this was beyond his expectations. In his opinion, even if a few more emperors appeared in the 3 realms, they would definitely not be a match for the 9 emperors and 1 emperor. In reality, that was indeed the case. But now it was a mess. "How, shake the great Tao of creation and Kuan!" the divine emperor shouted in a low voice. In the next moment, the Eastern Emperor's voice came from afar and sighed, "The great Tao of creation is fake, and the great Tao of Kuan is also fake. Fake. The immortal origin could no longer control their great Tao. That's shaking the town." At this moment, a rumble sounded out from the immortal origin. Someone chuckled and said, "Disciple, I saved your life again. You are really careless. The great Tao actually did not escape. You are really trash. You have embarrassed Master. I will leave first. You guys have fun." After saying this, the Sun God disappeared. However, before he left, he shattered the great Tao of suppressing Heavenly King that was trapped in the immortal origin land. And this was the trump card of the Emperor against the Emperor of the Three Realms. But today, the great Daos of the God Creation Envoy, Hong Kuan, and suppressing Heavenly King had all escaped. The Divine Emperor's face darkened. He had miscalculated. There was no need to guess. It must have been caused by the chaos last time, allowing these people to find a chance to escape. No wonder these people were so fearless. At this moment, the Eastern Emperor said faintly, "The Heavenly Hound's Tao is still here, and he is the only one who is still here. Yes, the only one." Woof! A roar resounded throughout the Three Realms. The Heavenly Hound was anxious. Damn it, how could he be the only one? When did the others run? Damn it. This was too much. In the Origin Land, 7 of the 8 new experts were not under the control of the immortal Origin Land. There was no justice in this world. Chapter 1438. Can you break the Tengu's Tao? Dong Huang's faint voice sounded again. Was it broken? Heavenly Hound's great Tao did not break free. Previously, the West Emperor's side was crushed, but the West Emperor only stole the control. He did not completely steal the great Tao. Now, including Qin Fengqing, there were a total of 9 people. In the end, Qin Fengqing's Tao was not controlled. Only Tengu was controlled. Can't break? Hearing this, the Heavenly Hound panicked. It howled and roared, "Don't you dare! I'm in cahoots with the Celestial Emperor." "No, you're in cahoots too. We're in cahoots. Spirit Emperor, he wants to cut off my path." "Spirit Emperor, you heard him!" Tengu roared. No, it could not allow its Tao to be severed. At this time, Emperor Ling also frowned. "How?" Spirit Emperor shouted in a low voice. Back when they were in Ling Chen's palace, Ling Huang's projection had specifically told Tiango not to prove his way. When the time came, he still told Tiango, which showed how much Ling Huang valued Tiango. The Heavenly Hound was indeed a pawn of the Celestial Emperor. Now, only the great path of the Heavenly Dog was being controlled, which made Ling Huang a little stunned. This dog was too pitiful. Other people dared to break the door to prove their Tao because they were confident. You didn't have any confidence at all, and you're trying to prove your Tao? You've become an emperor? Do you really think that the Emperor doesn't have a backup plan? If not for the fact that the Forging God Envoy and the others had secretly created a fake path last time, the Forging God Envoy and the others would have dared to prove their Tao today. There was no point in proving one's Tao. Once the great Tao was broken and the Tao fruit was left behind, these people wouldn't even have the power to resist and would become nourishment for the origin. And now, it was the Heavenly Hound. The Heavenly Hound was also impatient and roared, "Dong Huang, you can't do this to me. How dare you cut off my Tao? I'm not done with you." In the Origin of Immortals, Dong Huang smiled. Not done yet? What a weak threat. However, if Duan Ling Tian couldn't break the Tao, he would think about it later. Out of the 9 experts, 8 of them were out of control. What was the use of breaking the Heavenly Hound's Tao? Instead, he had provoked the 8 of them to view him as an enemy. Today's scene was out of his expectations. In one day, 9 emperors had appeared in the world. What else could they say? The Martial Emperor's plan was completely messed up. Even the immortal source could not control them. He had plotted for 10,000 years, but today, he had been slapped in the face. Who would have thought that such a scene would appear 10,000 years ago? Dong Huang laughed and did not attack again. Within the origin ground, chaos, battles broke out everywhere. Murderous aura surged. One expert after another was madly destroying the source. Fang Ping slashed the ground with one slash. Behind him, Celestial Reverse Emperor followed him unhurriedly. He sighed. Let's stop. Stop? Fang Ping roared. How can I stop? Since you've made things difficult for us, don't even think about having an easy time. Sigh. Emperor of Heaven Reverse heaved a sigh and said slowly, It is useless. Cheong is not in a hurry. It is you who is in a hurry. If this goes on, the Celestial Arch will be the first to suffer a backlash. Do you want to force the Celestial Arch to attack you? Fang Ping sneered. Let's do it then. If you kill us, I'll see if the Celestial Emperor has the ability to plot against the three realms again. Aren't you all going to die anyway? What are you pretending for? Do you really think I don't understand? The source was the graveyard. Your graveyard, the graveyard of the emperors. The Celestial Emperor has long wanted to bury you. Fighting, do you think I don't understand? Believe it or not, I will let the three emperors reincarnate and cut off your Tao. I will let the Celestial Arch seal the source, and we will all die together. At this moment, Fang Ping followed the guidance of the golden stone in his arms, and continued to move forward. He shouted, Celestial Arch, cooperate. I am not afraid of death. No one in the three realms is afraid of death. But I am not willing. I want to bury these guys and let them die with me. Today, no one here can leave. All of you will die. Let's die together. We will fill this pit for you. As soon as he said that, even the Emperor God's expression changed. The next moment, between heaven and earth, someone said softly, Are you serious? Yes. Fang Ping roared. Tell me, are you willing to die together? Heavenly King Zhen, are you willing? Heavenly King Zhen laughed. We're all going to die soon. What's there to be unwilling about? Then let's fill this pit together and benefit the three realms. Not bad. Old Zhang said calmly, That's fine. Let's get rid of this trouble and die together. Xu Xiang smiled. I have long wanted to follow Master. Heavenly Hound howled. I, Heavenly Hound, will never be controlled by others. If you don't release the Tao in my immortal source, then we will die together. One by one, the powerhouses expressed their stance. One by one, the powerhouses were willing to die. They would be buried here. Let's die together and fill this pit together. Fang Ping's eyes were blood-red as he laughed. Who do you think you are? You can plot against all living beings? Do you really think you're so great? King Kuan, tell me, are you willing? Hong Kuan smiled faintly. If I say I'm not willing, are you going to make trouble for me? Guess. I don't want to guess. Hong Kuan smiled faintly. Emperor is actually a fart. I am not afraid of them. If you want to die, then let's do it together. However, if Lord Father is listening, then tell me where your Tao is rooted. I will help you mend it and let you escape from the three realms. You are a filial son. Fang Ping laughed and shouted. Earthly Emperor, did you hear that? Trash, I will tell you where your Tao is rooted. Let your son mend the hole for you and keep hiding. The powerhouses of the three realms were in high spirits today. Afraid of death? Who would be afraid at this point? I will take you to hell with me. Plotting against the three realms for 10,000 years, the Emperor's life was worse than death. So was the people of the three realms. At this moment, the ninth heaven, countless powerhouses were coming. Dong Wang, Emperor of Heaven Reverse's avatar. 2 powerhouses were here. Dong Wang retracted his avatar, looked at the people and sighed. Wang Jinyang flew across the sky. He smiled. Maybe. I should call you Master. Is Master going to stop us? Let's go back. Dong Wang sighed. With me here, you cannot break the celestial source. Then we will die here. Wang Jinyang's hair and beard stood on end. He shouted, Since we are destined to die, why don't we fight to the death? Everyone, can you fight? Yes. Shouts were heard. What was there to be afraid of at this point? To die here, they would either die or break the celestial source. Dong Wang was powerful, terrifyingly powerful. Even the Emperor was not his match, not to mention this group of powerhouses. They would die without a doubt if they fought Dong Wang. But they did not care. Dong Wang looked at the crowd. There were beginner martial powerhouses, catacombs powerhouses, human powerhouses. At this moment, the three realms were united. Break the celestial source. They would no longer be controlled by others. Not even the Emperor. Since they could not escape, they would die in battle. The demon Emperor transformed into a Kuan Pung. His voice was loud. Dong Wang, make way. Otherwise, there will be no demon Dao in the three realms today. I will break your celestial source. Make way. Li Zhu's voice was cold. You want to borrow the strength of the three realms? Dream on. I have set up the dragon-breaking array in God's land. I want to draw the water from the sea of bitterness into God's land. Today we will die together. Everyone was shocked when they heard this. At this moment there was a sudden commotion in the outer domain. Countless catacombs people roared in fear. At this moment, a large amount of seawater suddenly invaded the outer domain. The seawater surged, covering and corroding the outer domain. Rumble. The mainland was being corroded. Rumble. The cities in the outer domain collapsed. Countless people were corroded to death. The human army had already retreated. At this moment, some of the powerhouses guarding the passageway were dumbfounded. They were inexplicably shocked. 9 heavens. Li Zhu was still calm. When he heard those voices, he suddenly laughed. He laughed happily and domineeringly. Since the Ji family wants to be the king of God's land, then I, Li Zhu, will be the devil of God's land. Devil. Destroy the world. Since you want us to die, then let us die. We will not let you borrow the strength of the three realms. He will kill us. Draw the seawater into God's land. Turn the three realms into a land of death. It's a pity that King Wu did not agree to my plan. Otherwise, the seawater will flow into God's land and the human realm, turning this place into a land of death. Li Zhu's voice was cold. He had talked to King Wu. It was a pity that King Wu did not agree. Otherwise, it would not just be God's land that would be drowned. It would be the entire three realms. At this moment, even Hong Yu looked at him in shock. Domineering. Devil Dao. Li Zhu. The devil of the catacombs. The Ji family wanted to be the king and he wanted to be the devil. The devil of the catacombs. Dong Wang also looked at Li Zhu in surprise. Suddenly, he laughed. You, Fang Ping, you guys have really exceeded my expectations. It was really unexpected. The human heart was too unpredictable. In the past, did anyone think that there was a Fang Ping among the humans? No. Did anyone think that there was a Li Zhu in the catacombs? Also no. He was not that strong. However, by controlling the catacombs for 3,000 years, he actually set up the Great Destruction Array in the catacombs. He drew the seawater into the catacombs. At this moment, the 108 outer territories and 108 realms were roaring and shaking. At this moment, someone murmured, "In the past, you caused the war between the North and the South." Some things had finally begun to reveal themselves. The war between the North and the South was not only plotted by the divine sect, Hong Yu and Feng and the others. Li Zhu. Yes, Li Zhu was plotting. In the past, the 108 realms were to seal off the land realm so that the Sea of Bitterness would not invade it. On one hand, it was to seal off the remnants of the Earth Emperor God dynasty. On the other hand, it was to stabilize the land realm. However, in the end, the array was broken. At that time, no one thought much about it. Even now, not many people thought much about it. Until this moment, when they saw the cracks in the 108 realms and the seawater surging up, they knew that this must be part of Li Zhu's plan. He had been plotting to destroy the entire land realm for a long time. This was a real demon. Li Zhu smiled faintly without saying a word. He looked at the 9th heaven, at the roaring seawater, at the tall imperial sea mountain, and laughed. It's just the outer territories. The Imperial Sea Mountain is still here." As soon as he finished speaking, there was a loud rumble. With a loud bang, a section of the Imperial Sea Mountain collapsed. Li Zhu laughed again, somewhat satisfied. He murmured, "Destroy it. Today, I will destroy this mountain, destroy this world, and let all living beings in the three realms be companions of the Sea of Bitterness." What a pity, what a pity! Fang Ping, if I had looked for you that day, perhaps today would be the real end of the world. The martial king was too kind. He should have looked for Fang Ping. Work together. If you make things difficult for us, then I'll make things difficult for you. Li Zhu chuckled. Isn't the Divine Emperor going to refine the three realms? Come on, refine it. Refine this sea of bitterness. I'll make sure he gets nothing. Even if you don't die, you'll be trapped in the source for the rest of your lives. For the rest of your lives. Die of old age in the source. Imprison in the source. Come on. Li Zhu shouted in a low voice. Come on then. Taoist Fengyun was truly shocked this time. Impressive. Another ruthless person. He was not very strong, but he was ruthless. Even he did not expect that Li Zhu would be involved in the war between the North and the South in the past. This fellow had broken the array of the 108 realms to divert the water from the Sea of Bitterness into the Land Realm. Even without Fang Ping this time, the 9 emperors would still be in huge trouble. At this moment, Taoist Fengyun looked at the catacombs. The 108 realms were like 108 great rivers, rapidly crashing into the Imperial Sea Mountain. The Imperial Sea Mountain was collapsing. The 108 long dragons roared and attacked, covering all directions. If this went on, the land realm would be destroyed. Once the Imperial Sea Mountain was destroyed, the entire land realm would be submerged in seawater and become a land of death. Ruthless. Li Zhu was truly ruthless. He used tens of billions of lives as a bet, betting that the emperors would give way and let them destroy the source. Otherwise, they would all be finished. Earth Xing swallowed hard. There were so many ruthless people in the three realms. One was more ruthless than the other. Fang Ping was a demon, Li Zhu was a demon, they had all become demons. The 9 emperors had forced a group of demons out. The seawater was still crashing into the catacombs. At this moment, the source began to shake. The Emperor God seemed to have sensed it too. At this moment, his expression changed, anger flashing in his eyes. He growled, "How destroy the source? Since they want to die, grant them their wish." A threat? He would not be threatened. Since they wanted to die, he would grant them their wish. At most, he would kill everyone today. How many emperors could survive? The Emperor God was incomparably domineering. But that did not mean he could represent the others. At this moment, Spirit Emperor roared, "Let them go, let them go!" Anger flashed in the Emperor God's eyes, and he suddenly struck with his palm. "You want to rebel against the source too?" Boom! Spirit Emperor, Old Zhang and Cat attacked at the same time, shattering the palm with a rumble. On the other side, North Emperor's expression also changed slightly. He growled, "Qiong, are you crazy? Do you really want to destroy the three realms?" Qiong wanted to destroy the three realms. The Emperor God said coldly, "I've schemed for 10,000 years, and now it's proven that all my schemes were in vain. Then stop scheming. Kill them all, then find the seed. Celestial Arch, do you want to be threatened? Kill everyone, find the seed, and you can naturally make up for everything. Even if you can't find it, when there's no one left in the three realms, you and I can abandon our power and cultivate for another life, and we will still be the rulers of the three realms." After so many years of scheming, in the end it was completely destroyed by someone. He was impatient. He did not want to compromise anymore, nor did he want to scheme anymore. Kill everyone and create another world. If it could not work, then give up the power. When there was no one left, they would still be the rulers of the three realms. Even if there was no one left, so what? The seed was still there, and sooner or later, the three realms would give birth to life again. You're crazy! North Emperor roared. Cheong had gone crazy. Or rather, the three realms had gone crazy. The emperors were trapped in the source, their plans had failed, and they had gone crazy. The people of the three realms had been schemed against for 10,000 years, had endured for 10,000 years, and had gone crazy too. On this day, the three realms had gone crazy. The Emperor God would not compromise. Did Fong Ping and the rest want to die? All right, then he would grant them their wish. Without them, the three realms would still be the three realms. In the faraway sea, West Palace, West Emperor seemed to be smiling, crying, yet not. They're all crazy, the three realms have gone crazy. Who can they blame? He did not know. Should he blame the Celestial Dharch? The Celestial Dharch had created the origin, but he did not know that the origin would have such a huge flaw, and in the end, the powerhouses of the three realms, including himself, were trapped. Blame the 9 emperors? The 9 emperors were only trying to save themselves. Perhaps they had to use the lives of others to save themselves, but they were indeed trying to save themselves. No one wanted to die, and no one wanted to be a prisoner forever. Blame Fong Ping and the rest? It did not make sense. They were just unwilling to be used as pawns, and they were resisting. Who could they blame? West Emperor did not know. He only knew that if the source was destroyed, the three realms would be destroyed, and even if he transcended, he would not be able to escape. After all, the great Tao was still in the source, just that the cracks had been mended. Old man, is the three realms going to be destroyed today? Heaven's Pole asked and suddenly felt relaxed. Fine, then let it be destroyed. I've had enough of these days of fear. Say, there are only so many people in West Palace, it's really boring, Heaven's Pole scolded. What the hell, the heavenly realm was so good back then, I could hold some big banquets, eat, drink, and be merry, it was so good. When I was in a good mood, I could even hold a big banquet. You don't say, those female officials had really good figures. Unfortunately, after the heavenly realm was destroyed, there was no one to drink with, let alone this. That's good, they're all dead. Heaven's Pole chuckled. West Emperor snorted, ignoring him. He watched the sky shatter, watched the bitter sea roar, and laughed. All of a sudden, he closed the crack. Entering West Palace, he laughed. Who cares about them? While the three realms are still here, come, eat, drink, be merry, and have fun. Even if I die, it will be worth it. Better than those bastards, even if I die, I will die fighting. Those people had been preparing for transcendence all their lives, fighting for the sake of fighting. Today, he could relax for once. Destroy the three realms, and after a few years, a new three realms will be born. Kaboom! The battle was still going on. Crazy? Fong Ping was not afraid. If the Emperor God was not afraid, what was he afraid of? He had no chance of winning. Since the Emperor God wanted to destroy the three realms, he would fulfill his wish. Fong Ping did not come into contact with Heaven Reverse Emperor at all. He hacked at the source like crazy. Kaboom! Cracks appeared. Heaven and earth were falling apart. What are you fighting for? Fong Ping laughed. Come on, let's destroy the source together. Before we die, let's explode and blow up the source. Let them go. Emperor God, do you want to live? In your dreams. Kaboom! A loud noise was heard. In the land, Emperor Donghuang's vitality erupted, suppressing the powerhouses. His hand covered the sky. His hand was like a wall, reaching into the broken area of Mount Royal Sea to stop the roaring seawater. He sighed, why bother? These people were crazy. If this went on, the land would be finished. Li Zhu was still laughing. Even though he was suppressed, he was still laughing. You can't suppress me. Li Zhu grinned. The Emperor is too powerful. I know. I knew you would stop me. So, I broke through Mount Royal Sea a long time ago. Did you know that there are 108 caves in Mount Royal Sea? F***ck. You son of a b***tch did that? At this moment, in the crowd, Warlord was shocked. He really did know. I was wondering why there was a cave at Mount Royal Sea and Purple Cap Mountain. I thought Unquestionable Jian did it. Did you do it? He really thought Unquestionable Jian did it. Back then, he even saved someone through that cave. He did not know that it was Li Zhu who did it. Li Zhu grinned. I have lived for so many years. How can I not be prepared? Do you really think I suppressed my master for strength? Ha ha ha, to prevent him from ruining my plan. Master, don't you think so? At this moment, in the crowd, the palm-print envoy was taken aback. Master, aren't you the spy of the 9 sovereigns? Li Zhu grinned. You are in charge of keeping an eye on the land. Heaven's subduing king, under the order of the god of sun, is in charge of the human world. Ha ha, you are also afraid of trouble. Unfortunately, Heaven's subduing king has been assimilated. You are too weak. I might as well suppress you. Li Zhu snorted and said in a clear voice, Dong Wang, keep suppressing. Boom. Down below, Mount Royal Sea suddenly had 108 caves. Like a breached dam, seawater gushed into the restricted area. Li Zhu had already made a secret request. Mount Royal Sea defense line? A ridiculous defense line. When Warlord first found a cave, he thought it was an accident. He thought Unquestionable Jian did it. Today, people learned that every region had a cave. Dong Wang sighed again. At the same time, the avatar of Emperor of Heaven Reverse smiled helplessly. The next second, he murmured, I cannot destroy the land. Otherwise, my path of energy will be cut off. The next moment, the avatar of Emperor of Heaven Reverse descended to the lower realm. With a boom, the avatar exploded. At this moment, the avatar turned into flesh and blood, scattering in all directions, flying toward the 108 huge caves. Rumble! The caves were blocked by flesh and blood. Li Zhu's expression changed. Soon, he sneered. Let's see how long you can keep this up. Fong Ping! Li Zhu bellowed. As long as we stall the powerhouses of the source, they cannot stop us. Turn the catacombs into a land of death. Let the 3 realms be destroyed. Destroyed. Today, Li Zhu's demon prowess was unparalleled. So be it. Since he, Li Zhu, could not escape, could not regain his freedom, could not become the strongest powerhouse of the 3 realms, then he would die together. In the Source Land, Li Zhu's roar could be vaguely heard. Fong Ping burst into laughter. You are ruthless. I like it. I have underestimated you. Today I know that you, Li Zhu, are indeed an influential figure in the catacombs. The Life King and the Ji family are not as good as you. The Ji family, the martial king of the catacombs. Li Zhu, Fong Ping of the catacombs. At this moment, Fong Ping burst into laughter. He felt like he was a kindred spirit. Old Zhang, if it's me, I will fight with him. What are you afraid of? Let's see who lives and who dies in the end. King Wu sighed. In this world, it was difficult to become a demon or a Buddha. Demons and Buddhas were forced to come into being. At this moment, the Emperor God had completely erupted. He suddenly stopped suppressing the Source Land. His own, Emperor of Heaven Reverses, Emperor Nan's, he stopped suppressing them. The Emperor God's expression was cold. He quickly caught up with Heavenly King Zhen and threw a punch. Heavenly King Zhen tried to block, but the punch penetrated his bones. The second punch. Bang! His chest exploded. Boom! The Source Land was in an uproar. Without the suppression of the 3rd heaven, the entire Source Land was filled with endless explosions. The Emperor God was indifferent. Do you really think I can't do anything to you? If you want to die, then die. Heavenly King Zhen grinned. Good, good. Come and kill me. You can hold on for a while. I'll let you kill me. With that, he stopped resisting and dashed toward the Beast King. I'm not suppressing them anymore. Why are you still suppressing them? Let's do this together. Heavenly King Zhen slashed. What a coward. The Emperor God was not suppressing them anymore. What are you suppressing? The Beast King turned into a dragon, roared, and fled. Crazy! At this moment, he felt the powerhouses of the three realms had gone crazy. The Emperor God had given up suppressing them. The world was changing. He had no more power to suppress them. Boom! The sixth heaven was broken. The heaven that the Beast King was suppressing was in an uproar. He was powerless to suppress them. In front of him was Qin Fengqing, behind him was Heavenly King Zhen, and behind him was the Emperor God. He killed everyone he saw and would not stop until he killed Heavenly King Zhen. If this went on, everyone would die. Deep in the Source Land, the Celestial Emperor opened his eyes. Back then, a single mistake had led to such a bitter outcome. Why was it so bitter and indignant? Today, was he really going to destroy the Source Land, destroy the three realms, and return them to nothingness? Chapter 1439. Chaos in the Source Realm. The sovereigns of the three realms made their move. Heavenly King Zhen roared. He was no match for the God Emperor, and in the blink of an eye, the God Emperor had caught up to him. Fist after fist, Heavenly King Zhen's body exploded. On the other side, the Beast Emperor was fleeing, and Qin Fengqing was charging over with his saber. The Divine Emperor punched out, and Qin Fengqing flew backward. Human Emperor, are you not going to make a move? At this moment, Qin Fengqing laughed harshly. If you don't make a move, I'll sell the seeds. The mortal emperor who was fighting the three monarchs turned around and spoke indifferently. The title of the Divine Tao Protector clans wasn't conferred by me, nor was it conferred by you. It was conferred by the seeds. You and I can't be considered the same. Ha ha ha, cut the crap. Are you going to make a move or not? Qin Fengqing laughed maniacally. If the Source Land is destroyed, the seed will no longer be threatened. If the three realms are destroyed, the seed will be able to create a new world. Isn't that perfect? You're free, I'm free. We're free together. Destroying the world won't do you any harm. Human Sovereign heaved a sigh and suddenly no longer bothered with Shu Xiang trio, swiftly charging towards Divine Sovereign. When Shu Xiang and the other two saw the situation, they also snorted coldly and charged towards the Divine Emperor. The six sovereigns besieged the Divine Emperor. It was extremely terrifying. On the other side, Zhang Tao laughed and said, Spirit Emperor, what do you think? He's no longer suppressing the Origin Land. At this point, you still want to be enemies with us? He's the biggest hidden danger. Killing him can make up for many layers of heavens. Six sovereigns, including Human Sovereign and Heavenly King Zhen, besieged the God Emperor, but Zhang Tao felt that it was not enough. If he went over there, there would be the three emperors. The 9 emperors besieged him. Emperor Ling Huang's expression changed slightly. Suddenly, he let out a cold harumph, held his long sword, and slashed in that direction. Zhang Tao laughed out loud. Today, the God Emperor was impatient. He wanted to destroy the three realms and destroy the Origin, but the Spirit Emperor wouldn't agree. At this moment, an entire 9 monarch realm experts charged at the God Emperor. From this, one could see how powerful the Divine Emperor was. The 10 monarchs instantly began fighting in the center of the Origin. Boom! The sounds of battle shook the heavens, and 10 phantoms appeared between heaven and earth. The Divine Emperor suppressed the 3 realms, and one person fought against 9 emperors. Boom! With a single punch, Hong Kuan's body exploded. In the blink of an eye, Human Emperor, Heavenly King Zhen, and the others attacked one after another, causing Hong Kuan's flesh to collapse. This was the first time the Divine Emperor had been injured. Too many. A total of 9 emperors. The battle here was too intense. On the other side, Emperor Celestial Reverse watched Fong Ping running away and then looked back at the Emperor God. He frowned slightly. At this moment, the North Emperor who was fleeing suddenly shouted in a low voice. Rumble! Right at this moment, a planet shot over. It was incomparably huge. At the same time, a figure stood on the planet. His expression was cold, and his long hair danced in the wind. Father, Moon Spirit. Moon Spirit stood on the star with a cold and indifferent expression. She looked at the North Emperor and said coldly, I originally thought that it wasn't you, and I didn't believe that it was you. Now it seems like I was wrong. The North Emperor revealed a struggling expression, and he quickly spoke hysterically, I've had enough. 30,000 years. For 30,000 years I've been a king, but also a prisoner. I don't want to continue living like this. I don't want to. Moon Spirit said coldly, Since you don't want to, then make it clear. You used me as a carrier for the life seed, but you didn't tell me. Father, is this what you promised Mother back then? You promised to take care of me? A savage expression appeared on the North Emperor's face. Your father is dead. He died a long time ago. 8,000 years ago, the North Emperor's saber flew away. On that day your father died. I'm no longer Xian. I'm the North Emperor, the prisoner North Emperor. Dead. He died a long time ago. North Emperor Xian, who loved his wife as much as his life, died. He had died in that battle 8,000 years ago. He had died in this boundless darkness, in this boundless life as a prisoner. The life seed. Fang Ping already knew that the life seed was Moon Spirit, and the energy seed was Hong Kuan. Hong Kuan had shattered the seed, but Moon Spirit did not. At this moment, the North Emperor wanted to escape from this place just like the West Emperor. He summoned the seed, wanting to fill the hole he left behind. Like the West Emperor, he wanted to escape from this prison. Moon Spirit looked at him coldly. Soon, she smiled and said, All right, since I'm your daughter, I'll return it to you. Don't you want this life seed? Use your daughter's bloodline and origin to nurture this seed. It's more suitable for you. If that's the case, then take it. The North Emperor was a little hysterical. It's not enough, Moon Spirit, it's not enough. The seed is not mature yet. It needs more. Fuse your flesh into the origin. You're still lacking a little. It's okay, I'll think of another way. The seed was not completely mature yet. Otherwise, he would have stolen this seed long ago and escaped control. It was still lacking a little now. Moon Spirit laughed coldly. As she laughed, she became a little crazy, a little desperate. Fuse with my flesh? Yes, Moon Spirit, you've cast half of your jade bones long ago. You even cast real jade bones previously. You can do it. Fuse with your flesh. You can do it, the North Emperor roared crazily. It was almost too late. The origin was in chaos. The place he was suppressing was now a pot of porridge. There was also the heavenly hound harassing him. Right now, the only thing he could do was to fuse with this seed and kill the heavenly hound. Then, he would definitely be able to escape. Even if the origin was destroyed, as long as it was not completely destroyed, he would not die. He still had a chance. Like the West Emperor, he wanted to become the second powerhouse to escape from the origin. The life seed began to approach the North Emperor. Moon Spirit laughed. She did not know why she laughed. This was the crazy North Emperor, her imperial father, using her to nurture this life seed. Let her fuse with her flesh to help him, the Emperor. The three realms had gone crazy. Human nature? Father-daughter kinship? Everything was gone. Just as the North Emperor said, 8,000 years ago, the moment the North Emperor's saber flew back, Xian died. Moon Spirit's father died too. The only one alive was the prisoner, the North Emperor. All right, I'll return it to you. Moon Spirit laughed again. I'll return it to you. I'll return everything to you. 8,000 years ago, I thought you were dead. 8,000 years ago, I actually had nothing. I lost my father, I lost my cultivation partner, I lost my home, I lost everything. I had nothing. If you want it, then your daughter will fulfill your wish. The living planet was burning. Moon Spirit was burning, smiling all the while. I'll return it to you. The North Emperor looked like he was struggling, but he quickly calmed down. I've had enough of this life as a prisoner. Back then, didn't I set up this origin for Moon Spirit just for this day? I won't regret it. Moon Spirit was burning, but Fong Ping shouted, "Stop him!" It did not matter if the Hongkuan Shatter Seed was destroyed or if the West Emperor was destroyed, but Moon Spirit's seed was taken to the origin. The guy who stole control of her seed would have his Tao severed as the seed burned. Who knew how many humans had been controlled? Although the life seed was not the two main forces of vitality and mentality, humans had vitality, and humans might have been controlled a lot. The Heavenly Hound roared and charged toward the North Emperor. The North Emperor also had a fierce look on his face. Killing the Heavenly Hound was just right. With the Heavenly Hound's vitality and Tao seed, coupled with Moon Spirit's life seed, they would definitely be able to fill the hole he left behind. He was very strong. One Heavenly Hound was not enough. One life seed that had not fully matured was also not enough. Together, it would be enough. Die. The North Emperor suddenly stretched out his hand and waved. A large saber came from the three realms. North Emperor's saber. The saber arrived. It slashed down. With a squelch, a crack appeared on the Heavenly Hound's huge head. The Heavenly Hound howled. In the blink of an eye, a chain appeared and struck toward the North Emperor. "You're too weak." The North Emperor snorted coldly. The Heavenly Hound was not someone else. The new Emperor, Fong Ping, Heavenly King Suppression, and Scholar were all very strong. However, the Heavenly Hound and the others were all newly ascended emperors. Their strength was only over 9, between 40 to 50 million. They were still far from him. How could he be afraid of the Heavenly Hound? At this moment, the North Emperor's expression changed slightly. He turned his head instantly. At this moment, a cat claw came toward him. Squelch! The void was torn apart. Behind him, the cat leaped up and landed on the Heavenly Hound's head. It was exasperated. "Big dog, bite him to death." It had been with the Heavenly Hound for the longest time. 4 tens of thousands of years, except for the 3,000 years when the Heavenly Hound was in deep slumber, the cat and the dog had always been inseparable. The cat was angry that the North Emperor was bullying the dog. The Heavenly Hound was also furious. It howled and bit toward the North Emperor. The cat roared and threw all kinds of artifacts. At this moment, the life star that Moon Spirit was on was gradually melting. Moon Spirit had a smile on her face. In the three realms, her real body began to dissipate slowly and was also condensing and melting toward the source star. 9th Heaven. Moon Spirit's real body was in 9th Heaven. At this moment, her real body began to dissipate gradually. Not far away, Hongyu looked at her. Moon Spirit's illusory real body also looked at him. The two of them looked at each other. Moon Spirit's lips curled up slightly. All of this should have ended 8,000 years ago. Back then, I thought that all of you were dead and that I was the only one alive. Today, let me die and let the two of you live. I want to see if you can understand my pain. Perhaps you won't. Because there's no love between the two of you. As Hongyu watched, he suddenly laughed. The next moment, he opened his mouth and chuckled. Husband and wife are birds of the same forest. When disaster strikes, we fly apart. But some people say that a day as husband and wife means 100 days of love. You and I will be husband and wife for 10,000 years, 10,000 years. 1,000,000 years of love can never be repaid. Hongyu smiled and said softly, "Back then, I built the earthly emperor god dynasty and betrayed my father, because someone told me that he could promise me one thing and help me become an emperor. I don't need it. Today I will use this condition. Human emperor, shouldn't you fulfill your promise?" In the void, the human emperor grunted as the god emperor punched him. The sound shook the heavens. "What do you want?" "Stop the North Emperor." "I can't do it, I can't do it now." "I guessed it." Hongyu sneered. "I guessed it a long time ago." You people's words can't be trusted. But since I have nothing better to do, it's not a bad idea to improve my strength. At least the inspector won't cause trouble for me. I can't ask you for help if it's too difficult. Then let's make it simple. Replace me and Moon Spirit. The human emperor said indifferently, sure. Haven't you been in a deep sleep for thousands of years because you've been plotting? Have you been looking for this life seed? You're just one step away from it. The next moment there was a loud rumble. The projection of Moon Spirit on the life seed in the source suddenly shattered. A person suddenly appeared beside him. He grew stronger rapidly. Hong Yu. Hong Yu laughed and looked at the source of the battle. He sighed. I think I've been here before. Moon Spirit's source is indeed here. He had been in a deep sleep for thousands of years. He was not really in a deep sleep. He found it. A long time ago, he had discovered that there was a problem with the Moon Spirit's source. During the thousands of years he had been in slumber, he had always been searching. Following the clues, he had found the seed, and he had long since laid down his own source energy near the seed. Today, he replaced it. On the other side, North King, who was fighting with Heaven Dog and Heaven Cat, suddenly changed his expression. Hong Yu looked at North King and smiled. Father-in-law, it's been a long time. Bastard, it's you. It's me. Hong Yu smiled. Father-in-law, it's better not to transcend, lest you implicate Moon Spirit. It's better to disperse this seed. If you offend too many people, it's easy to die. After killing so many people in the 3 realms, they won't let it go. Even if Moon Spirit survives, she won't have a good ending. As soon as he finished speaking, the life star suddenly began to shatter. Hong Yu looked down. Below seemed to be the source of immortals. He seemed to have seen Moon Spirit. With a gentle expression on his face, he smiled and said, the moment the North Emperor blade returned, without the North Emperor's life imprint, I knew that he had given up on you and the past. Don't blame me for being ruthless. I just didn't want you to know that I was plotting against your father. Ling or live on. Even if you don't have power, even if you don't have the 3 realms, live on. Living on might be more painful, but I still hope that you can live on. Hong Yu smiled. In the distance Hong Kuan roared, you useless thing. You useless thing. You actually did this for a woman. You are not fit to be my younger brother. You deserve to die, bastard. He was burning himself to shatter the life star. Hong Kuan was furious. Big brother, my great Tao has always been controlled by the source of immortals. I don't have your opportunities, nor do I have your courage. Since I have always been controlled by others, then today let me be free for once. Hong Yu laughed. Big brother, if you can live on, then live on well. As he spoke, his body began to dissipate, his power burning. The star shattered. It began to fly towards the other sky, where Hong Kuan was. Big brother, I'll help you mend some cracks. I hope you can be free. He was also a top expert who had broken through 8. Now that he was burning himself and mixed in some of the power of the life star, there was hope that he could free Hong Kuan. After all, Hong Kuan had only just attained Tao. Scram, I don't need your help. Hong Kuan was furious. He was distracted for a moment. The Divine Emperor was incomparably cold as he punched. With a bang, Hong Kuan's body exploded, but he quickly recovered. The others blocked the Divine Emperor. Although they were not on the same side, the enemy was the Divine Emperor. No one wanted to see Hong Kuan die. The Divine Emperor just needed to punch again and Hong Kuan would definitely die. Big brother, take care of the enemy. Hong Yu laughed heartily as he charged towards the 5th sky. That was where Hong Kuan had attained Tao. Bastard, bastard! Hong Kuan was furious. I don't need your help, I don't need it. Do you think I will remember your favor? Go and die yourself. Scram, I don't need it. Big brother, are you not going to be nice to me even at the last moment? Hong Yu chuckled. You have never liked me since you were young. You felt that father favored me more. You became King Kuan, one of the 8 kings, the first heavenly king among the second generation, but you still did not receive Father's favor. You were jealous of me, but I was jealous of you too. Father liked to control me. I couldn't do this or that. He was even the one who helped me find a cultivation partner. Fortunately, I loved Moon Spirit. Father did a good thing for me. But Father let you choose whatever you want, while I could only walk the path he set. But I didn't know that I didn't like any of this. That year, Father told me that he might not be coming back. I was in despair and sad, but I also felt relieved. Father finally didn't have to be that mountain on my head anymore. I was afraid that if he continued to pressure me, he would drive me crazy. That year, the human emperor came to me and asked me to rebuild the Earth Emperor Divine Dynasty. I knew what he wanted to do. He wanted to lure Father out. Hong Yu smiled. Actually, I already knew then that Father loved you more. He was in the divine sect. You probably already knew that, didn't you? You are his only hope, and I am only the second earthly emperor that he hopes to groom. This is not what I want. Big brother, when you see Father, help me say that I don't hate him. I just pity him. He thinks that he doesn't know that I understand, but I do. Didn't he tell me everything so that I could tell others? Hong Yu mocked. Father, he doesn't trust me. That's why he told me everything on purpose. Fine, I'll fulfill his wish. He really disappeared during the battle of the heavenly realm. He succeeded. It was my good son who told on him. Father should be satisfied, right? Hongkuen's face turned red as he roared. Father didn't plot against you. You're just overthinking things. Back then. Big brother, it's all in the past, isn't it? Goodbye, big brother. Hong Yu smiled. At that moment, he looked down again. Someone looked up. Tears rolled down his cheeks. The ninth heaven. Moon Spirit looked up at the sky, at the illusory figure and the burning ball of light. She cried silently. Who was wrong in the three realms? Who was true and who was false in the three realms? The person I love still loves me. But I don't want to suffer the pain of losing him again. Hong Yu. A heart-wrenching cry rang out. You bastard! You abandoned me again. Do you want to do it again? It's been 8,000 years. 8,000 years. I don't want it to happen again. Tears rolled down his cheeks. I don't want it to happen again. I can't take it anymore after 8,000 years of pain. Boom. Emperor Donghuang, who was suppressing everyone in the ninth heaven, turned pale. At that moment, a great Tao started to crack above the source of immortality. Hong Yu. Wait for me, together. The three realms are dark. I'm afraid of the dark. The three realms are dark. 8,000 years ago, it was bright. 8,000 years later, it was dark and filthy. I'm afraid of the dark and I don't like this filth. Ling-er, a murmur came from the source of the voice. Sigh. A sigh echoed throughout the three realms. In the next moment, a figure walked over from the sky. It was as if he had entered a deserted place and did not see Emperor Donghuang. With a casual punch, he shattered two great Tao above the source of immortality. Emperor Donghuang looked at the person and frowned slightly. The person looked at Emperor Donghuang and said with a faint smile, How is it? Are you going to stop me? It's not a good time for you to show yourself now. I'm old. 8,000 years have smoothed out my temper and suppressed my desire for hegemony. I'm old, perhaps. I'm looking forward to having a house full of children and grandchildren, not hegemony over the three realms. The newcomer laughed and casually suppressed the moon spirit. Then, he punched through the sky, causing it to split apart. The source of immortality was above the sky. He stepped into the source of immortality. He covered the sky with one hand. With a loud bang, the star that Hong Yu was on, which had been burning a moment ago, was instantly extinguished. The person turned around and punched the North Emperor. In-law, I'm in charge of my son. Your daughter is my family. You have crossed the line. Boom. The North Emperor wanted to retaliate, but he was not as fast as the person. The punch landed on his chest and pierced through it. He was sent flying. It's been 8,000 years and you're still so weak. You disappoint me. The person smiled faintly. In the next moment, he walked in the sky and said indifferently, Cheong, isn't it good for everyone to be fine? Do you really think I'm dead after hurting my son? Father, Hong Kuan was stunned. The person did not look at him. He walked in the sky as if he was walking on flat ground, heading straight for the Emperor God. Sword. There was a loud boom. In the 9 heavens, a long sword shot out from Moon Spirit's body. The earthly sovereign's sword. Slash. Boom. The sky was torn and the world was split. This sword was like thunder and lightning, as if it could destroy the world. Kill! Poochie! The Emperor God retreated. A lock of his hair was cut off and a drop of blood dripped from his shoulder. The Emperor God turned his head and looked at the person with a solemn expression. I thought you wouldn't come now. I had to. The person sighed. Of my 2 sons, one wants to commit suicide and the other wants to be killed by you. I didn't want to come but I had to. 8,000 years ago, I thought I was like Xian, that I could give up everything and focus on the Tao. 8,000 years later, I realized that time really made me old. I was really old. I'm no longer the earthly sovereign who fought against heaven and earth. I'm just a pitiful prisoner, a pitiful old man. That person's white hair fluttered in the wind. He looked around and sighed. It's been 8,000 years. Sometimes I wonder if I should just give up and let that crack corrode my great Tao, destroy my true body, and extinguish my source. Maybe I should learn from Jean and walk more freely. But I don't have any grandchildren. I don't have a house full of them. Jean, this idiot, rejected me 8,000 years ago. Otherwise, I might have a house full of children and grandchildren by now. If I die, then so be it. But now I'm still not satisfied. The newcomer laughed again and slashed down with his sword again. The sky fell and the earth cracked. Zhen Ji, stay. The rest of you back off. The earthly sovereign chuckled and flattened the 7th heaven with one sword. His murderous intent shook the sky and was boundlessly domineering. The human sovereign laughed. Brother Hong, you said you're retired, but you're still so domineering. Be careful that these new sovereigns think you're looking down on them. Yes, I am. What's wrong with that? The earthly sovereign laughed. His long sword circled around the Emperor God like a swimming dragon. In the blink of an eye, he slashed out thousands of swords. The human sovereign sighed. The next moment, he smiled. King Wu, lend me your seal. The moment he finished speaking, a human sovereign's seal shot out. Rumble. The human sovereign's seal smashed out. On the other side, Heavenly King Zhen slashed out. The Emperor God's face turned solemn. He was even more solemn than when he faced the 9 sovereigns. The earthly sovereign, the human sovereign, and Heavenly King Zhen. The 3 top powerhouses. They were second only to their level. When the 3 joined forces, the threat was countless times greater than the others. The earthly sovereign finally appeared. Chapter 1440. The Emperor of Earth had appeared. As soon as he appeared, he injured the North Emperor and fought the Emperor of Earth, the most overbearing emperor of the past, the most unruly emperor. Everyone was talking about how overbearing and unruly the Emperor of Earth was. He was the only emperor among the 9 emperors who was besieged and killed once. He revived again, hiding in the dark and plotting against the 3 realms. Cunning and unruly. That was everyone's impression of the Emperor of Earth. But today, the Emperor of Earth overturned everything. Ordinary, like an old man next door. Maybe he was really old. But he was still overbearing. He didn't care about being old. He didn't need to fight for hegemony. But he was still so overbearing. Cheong, you are old too. The 3 realms is no longer ours. The Emperor of Earth laughed. Thousands of swords swept through the void, sword rays piercing through the world. The Emperor of God's expression was solemn. He said indifferently, "Old? The three realms is ours. It has always been. Since the beginning of martial arts, the three realms has been ours. Banishing wild beasts, spreading civilization, spreading martial arts, opening the path of origin, resisting the corrosion of the sea of bitterness." As the God Emperor spoke, he bellowed, "The three realms? Why isn't it our three realms? I, Cheong, forged the three realms civilization and ushered in a prosperous era. Why is the three realms not ours? Why is it not? Why should I suffer the pain of being imprisoned for 10,000 years? Why?" The Emperor of God roared, "I am not satisfied. 30,000 years ago, I did not let anyone down. I did not let down the three realms. I did not let down the world." The Emperor of God questioned angrily and roared, "Tell me why. Fong Ping, Zhang Tao, let me ask you, you saved the human race from disaster, but the world imprisons you and makes you prisoners for tens of thousands of years. Are you satisfied? Ha ha, are you satisfied? Are you heroes? Are you the saviors? No, you can only be prisoners." The Emperor of God roared, "I, Cheong, was a hot-blooded man in the past. I also wanted to create a glorious era. But why should I suffer the pain of being imprisoned? Why?" Beside him, King Wu said coldly, "You contributed to the three realms, but that was 10,000 years ago. But now you are a sinner. Your merits and demerits do not offset each other. 10,000 years ago, Jean Tian d'Arc asked you to return your power to the origin. That day." "Bullshit!" The Divine Emperor was furious and punched the human emperor back. "Return power to the source?" The Divine Emperor bellowed, "I've been cultivating for 30,000 years, 30,000 years dedicated to the path of martial arts, giving up love, giving up hate, giving up glory and wealth, giving up everything. All his life, he had only been devoted to martial arts. You want me to give up? For example, if I ask you to give up on the human race right now, would you be willing? Do you agree? Jean is not a martial artist. He is just a scholar. He is devoted to the mountains of books and the seas of literature. I am not. What he said was simple. I just need to give up on power. Power is my life's pursuit. You want me to give it up?" The Divine Emperor roared. "Who would be willing? Who would be willing? You have your pursuits, and I have mine. I have dedicated my entire life to martial arts. How could I be willing to give up my strength at that time?" Everyone said that the 9 emperors were selfish, but what about fighting? He's not selfish? He didn't care about strength, he didn't care about martial arts, but did it mean that others didn't care? Therefore, he deserved to die in battle. Don't do to others what you don't want done to yourself. What right did Jean have to make decisions for them? He was not qualified. The martial king was speechless. He was speechless and unable to refute. The three realms and heaven and earth really could not tell right from wrong. The Divine Emperor pursued the pinnacle of power all his life. He preached everywhere. He created the heavenly court. He suppressed the three realms. He created a golden age. Was he wrong? He just did not want to give up his power, because this was his sustenance. If the Divine Emperor was wrong, it might be that he was now a maniac. In order to escape, he was a maniac who would do anything. 10,000 years ago, Jean asked him to give up his power, but he refused. This was not wrong. The martial king said no more. People with different paths could not make plans together. Sometimes it was hard to distinguish right from wrong. Today, the powerhouses who were fighting were all right. They were all fighting. If he was wrong, it might be that this path was not perfect enough. The Divine Emperor went crazy. His power shook the surroundings. 4 figures moved and flickered in the void, fighting continuously. The aftermath shook the 3 realms. In front, Fong Ping continued to break through heaven and earth. He wanted to find the Celestial Emperor. Why did he want to find the Celestial Emperor? Even Fong Ping himself could not explain it. He was angry. He hated Celestial Emperor, the powerhouse who created the path of origin. No matter what his original intention was, in the end, Celestial Emperor could not shirk the responsibility. Behind him, the Celestial Emperor was not in a hurry to make a move. He followed Fong Ping. He seemed to know that Fong Ping was going to see the Celestial Emperor. He seemed to want to go as well. He was following Fong Ping because he wanted to see the Celestial Emperor. Behind them, Spirit Empress came. She wanted to go as well. North King, on the other hand, laughed like a madman. He laughed so hard that he did not know why. The plan was ruined. He could not get rid of this cage. Heaven has no eyes. North King cried to the sky. Heaven has no eyes. Everything is gone. Do I still have to suffer the pain of being imprisoned for 10,000 years? The origin, the joys and sorrows. This place was filled with the unwillingness and resentment of so many people. 30,000 years ago, the Great Path was created. Since then, martial arts had been filled with blood and tears. The ninth heaven. East King looked at the outer area of the catacombs. Countless people were struggling, crying, cursing. He was in a trance. The three realms had really changed. 40,000 years ago, the world was created and humans appeared. There were ancient beasts in the world that devoured humans. Everyone was afraid of them. They could not sleep at night and could not go out during the day. When the beasts came, every family cried. There would definitely be humans buried in the beast's stomach. East King seemed to be talking to himself. He sighed softly. It was too difficult at that time. At that time, there were people who were unwilling and stood up to kill demons and beasts. How could humans defeat the beasts? Under the countless deaths and injuries, there were amazing people who created martial arts. It was called beginner martial. The leader of heaven, the Celestial Emperor, created martial arts. He killed the beasts in the beginner martial land. He strengthened the heaven division and expanded the territory. The Celestial Emperor lived in the middle. Sun God rose in the northern plains. He ate the meat of the beasts and drank their blood to strengthen himself. He led the Yang division to expand the territory and created the seed of civilization. In the west, the leader of the Sky division fought the beasts at the peak of the West Mountain. He killed the leader of the beasts and chased them away, taking root in the west. In the south, the leader of the Dou division, Dou, killed 800 beasts in a day. The beasts did not dare to invade their territory. The Dou division could rest and build up their strength. The fire of civilization was ignited on the beginner martial land. Dongfang, how, they were not as amazing as the others, but they also walked on the martial path. They killed the beasts that invaded their territory and protected the tribe. At the same time, Dark, Fist, Blade God, Sword God, many beginner martial experts rose in the beginner martial land. They killed the beasts, protected the tribe, sowed the seed of civilization, ignited the fire of civilization. East King muttered to himself. He recounted the scenes of the past. They met later on. Excited. My Tao is not alone. So, on this continent there were so many people with the same Tao. So, everyone was fighting back. So, they did not hold back. They explained their own Tao, their own martial Tao, their own experiences. They wanted to make all the humans in the world stronger. They wanted to fight against the beasts. They wanted the fire of humanity to ignite this continent. They were like brothers, like little brothers, like family, like brothers. Year after year, day after day, everyone's efforts and hearts were focused on the same goal. After who knows how many years, when we reunited, we suddenly discovered that there were fewer desolate beasts in the world. The human race became the only rulers of the world. East King chuckled. At that time, everyone was excited. We had succeeded. We had won. Although we paid a great price and lost countless comrades, including some old friends who died fighting against the desolate beasts, we still won. We won the war between the races and became the rulers of the three realms. Of course, there was no such thing as the three realms back then. Everyone listened in silence. They did not know what East King was thinking, but since East King was willing to speak, they were willing to listen. It was fine as long as East King did not participate in the battle for the origin lands. East King continued. Time passed. On this continent there were more and more martial artists and experts. The strong enemies were gone. The first generation of experts suddenly felt lost. East King laughed. Can you understand that kind of loss? There was no pursuit, no goal, no enemy. It was empty. At that time, Cheong and the others stood out. At that time, there was a lot of killing among the martial artists. Everyone had strength but nowhere to use it. They were very lost. Cheong and the others stood out and told everyone that they could pursue a better martial Tao and greater strength. Everyone could study the martial Tao together, discuss the Tao together, and walk further together. Let the entire human race evolve and become experts. East King laughed. At that time, the experts were still very naive, very, very naive. You might think it was inconceivable, but we all believed it. We all pursued a higher level of evolution. Not only that, there was less killing and less fighting. We studied the martial Tao together, sparred together, and went to the edge of the continent together to find the desolate beasts that had been chased away. We killed the desolate beasts and drank their blood. However, time is the most murderous thing. East King murmured. After who knows how many more years, some old friends died. At that time, some people began to pursue immortality. Some married and had children, but their children discovered that they were not suited for martial arts, so they began to fight for power. They wanted to be above everyone else, the Lord of 10,000, the Lord of 1,000,000. From then on, the three realms became different. Those who pursued immortality, those who pursued power, but all of this could not escape the word power. With power, you could live longer. With power, you had more authority, and it was easier for you to seize other people's territories. Thus, the martial Tao was divided into high and low, and power was divided into strong and weak. Between heaven and earth, there were martial Tao ranks, and the strong and the weak. East King laughed. At that time, us beginners also had our differences. Some people began to pursue the true meaning of power, and it was also at that time that they discovered the seed. East King's eyes revealed a hint of fanaticism. At that time, everyone reached a limit and realized that they could no longer go any further. At this time, an incomparably strong power suddenly spread out. Everyone became fanatical and went to find the source of that power. That time, when we discovered the seed, we were shocked. What kind of power was this? It was too strong. Compared to the seed, what were we? How could a candle compete with the sun and moon? At that moment, some people were tempted. Those without the heart wanted to absorb a bit of the seed's power. Those with the heart wanted to find the seed and continue to absorb its power. Those with great ambitions wanted to devour the seed. You know, power can make people crazy, but it can also make people lose themselves. From then on, everyone knew that we had only walked a short distance, that we had not grasped the true meaning of power. Thus, the group split up. Some people are searching for the seeds in the direction where they disappeared. Some people are wandering around the Chu Wu continent in search of new sources of power. Some people are thinking of unifying the continent and gathering the power of the continent to find a higher power. After an unknown number of years, heaven and earth roared, and the Chu Wu continent shook. That day, the Sky King found a new direction of martial Tao, the Tao of Source. East King exclaimed, "You don't understand." At that time, it was a miracle, unbelievable. The new martial Tao was completely different from the beginner's Tao, a completely different Tao. The Sky King was wild with joy. So, besides the seed, there were other Taos, other paths of martial Tao, and the road was very long. Thus, from that day on, the Tao of Source became a new direction. Though many people went to find the Sky King, asking him how to walk this path, how to become stronger. At that time, the Sky King said that the path was not clear, not perfect, and that he should take a look. But we were impatient. You have to know, at that time, although everyone had different opinions and thoughts, sharing martial Tao was still an unspoken rule that everyone tacitly agreed on. The Sky King walked along the Tao of Source for a period of time. After breaking the Tao of Source, he found that he was much stronger, so he felt that there might be no problem with this path. In fact, even if there was, no one understood or knew that this was a completely unfamiliar path. So, the Sky King began to preach in the three realms. Those who succeed are teachers. Although the Sky King who opened up a new path was of the same generation as us, he was a pioneer, so he was the teacher. At this time, East King suddenly shook his head and sighed, but someone also discovered this path. Sun God. Sun God might have discovered this path at the same time as the Sky King, but he was different from the Sky King. The Sky King absorbed the Tao of Source, broke it, and escaped. As for the Sun God, he was a step slower. He found that after the Sky King left, there was still a large amount of power left in the Tao of Source. Thus, he began to cultivate over there, absorbing countless amounts of energy. He also became stronger, much stronger. Everyone was in a trance, as if they had returned to the past. The Sky King and the Sun God might have discovered the great Tao of Source together. The Sky King took the traditional Tao of Source today, broke the Tao of Source, and escaped. As for the Sun God, it was a step too late, so it could only start to absorb the remaining power where it was. East King continued. After absorbing the power, the Sun God didn't care so much and left contentedly. Anyway, he was strong, so he didn't care about his origin. East King smiled and said, "It's not his fault. He didn't understand why he didn't absorb the power." The Sky King ran away with the power, the Sun God ran away with the power, and the origin still has power. At this time, the Sky King was still preaching, but gradually, something went wrong. East King's expression changed. At first, there was actually no problem. But soon, some big problems appeared. When the beginner martial artists cultivated the Tao of Source, there was actually a violent rejection. Some people even cultivated the Tao of Source, causing their bodies to explode and die directly. At this time, someone began to reprimand the Sky King. Did he lead everyone to a fork in the road? Why was there such a strong rejection? It was also at that time that there was a prelude to the Battle of the Myriad Taos. East King smiled bitterly and said, "The Sky King didn't think there was a problem with him. He did obtain power himself. This is not fake." Not only the Sky King, but the martial artists who walked the great Tao in advance also obtained power, such as Cheong and me. We obtained power, and there was no rejection. How could it be fake? But the rejection does exist, and it is getting more and more serious. Including me and Cheong, there were some problems. Our bodies began to weaken, our mental power began to weaken, but the amplification of the Tao of Source became stronger and stronger, and the power we could use also became stronger and stronger. The Sky King also noticed something strange. He felt that there might be some problems with the Tao of Source. He also advised us that there might be some problems with the Tao of Source. If we didn't want to walk, we could give up and wait for him to perfect it. But at that time, we couldn't stop. East King became even more bitter. We couldn't stop, our bodies were still weakening, and the battle of the Myriad Taos was getting more and more intense. It was not only the battle between the Tao of Source and initial martial, but also the spiritual sense and physical body. In any case, all kinds of conflicts erupted at that time. We couldn't stop. If we did, it might be even more troublesome. After that, The battle of the myriad Daos erupted. East King sighed and said, "It erupted just like that." The eruption was somewhat unexpected. On one hand, the battle for power in the first martial continent reached its peak, and on the other hand, the Tao of Source was also the fuse. In addition to the accumulation of some emotions, in a small battle, the teachers of both sides kept appearing, calling for friends, and finally a war erupted in the three realms. After 10,000 years, there are naturally still grudges, slaughter, blood, violence. It stimulated everyone. East King smiled and said, "At that time, the war engulfed the entire first martial continent. Everyone was involved, including us. And at that time, another problem appeared in the Tao of Source." Wang Jinyang raised his eyebrows and said, "Tao severing?" "Yes." East King smiled and said, "Tao severing. The great Tao was actually broken. This was not done by the celestial Dharch." He was also surprised, and soon, he discovered some clues, as if a part of his power was missing. Everyone was surprised for a while, and the next moment someone said faintly, "Sun God?" "Yes, Sun God." East King smiled bitterly and said, "Sun God absorbed a large amount of power, causing the great Tao to be broken, and we could not move forward. It was not the celestial Thearka's warning. In fact, at that time, the celestial Dharch did not expect such a big problem to occur later. It was that Sun God guy. After absorbing the power, he ran to chase after the seed. That bastard, he did not think about this at all. In fact, he did not expect this to happen either. The great Tao was broken, and our bodies were still weakening. If we did not continue, what would we do next? "So you killed the other first martial saints?" East King shook his head. "If I said it was an accident, you might not believe me, but it was indeed so. Cheong fought with the martial god, but he did not kill the martial god. He defeated the martial god, and as a result, the martial god's power dissipated and was inadvertently absorbed by him. He proved his Tao." Hearing these words, everyone thought for a moment and suddenly came to a realization. In the records, the Divine Emperor defeated the martial god, East King killed the sword god, and the human emperor killed the saber god. It seemed that the Divine Emperor did not kill the martial god. East King was a little sad. Cheong proved his Tao and absorbed the martial god's power. The great Tao was rooted in the ground, and he actually proved his Tao. All of a sudden, he became the top expert of the three realms. We felt this way, as if we had found a way to prove our Tao. But then, the martial god suddenly died. Yes, too much power had been lost, and he was old. Without power, he suddenly died of old age. Now, the three realms went crazy. The Origin had to kill the first martial saints to prove his Tao. Cheong proving his Tao already frightened many people, and now he had to kill people to prove his Tao. Those old friends of his went crazy and wanted to destroy the Origin. The Origin was the root of all trouble. So I, the killing sword god, proved my Tao. From then on, things got out of hand and a great war broke out. The struggle of the Daos reached a peak and countless experts fell. This was the history of the first martial saints. It was the story of someone who had personally experienced it. East King, the second Origin Emperor in the world, was telling the crowd this heartwarming and bloody history of the first martial saints. There were first martial saints in the crowd. The god of the underworld said coldly, Why glorify yourself? If Cheong Sha's death was an accident, then you killed the sword god on purpose to strengthen yourself. You've been friends for many years, and the martial god and Cheong's death was an accident. You wanted to become stronger, so you killed him and devoured him. At that time, you had already changed. You were unwilling because Cheong became stronger, Yang became stronger, and heaven became stronger. Only you took the wrong path, and you couldn't turn back. You became weaker and weaker, and soon, you would be weaker than those who came later, so, you plotted to kill the sword god to help yourself. Do you dare to say that you didn't? East King looked at him and smiled. Underworld, this is what you people think. That's why the War of the 10,000 Daos erupted. If I said no, you probably wouldn't believe me. But that's the truth. The Sword God and I didn't want to kill each other at first. But in the end, we lost control of ourselves, and that's what happened. After that, no one listened to my explanation. No matter what I said, you wouldn't believe me. Humph. The god of the underworld snorted coldly. Explain? The martial god's death had already alarmed everyone. Who would believe that East King had killed the sword god? At that time, all the first martial saints went crazy. 2 invincible experts had died one after another, and the 2 from the origin lineage had become even stronger. Who would believe them? So, the War of the 10,000 Daos erupted. The first martial saint versus the origin lineage. All the warriors who cultivated the origin lineage became the target of everyone. Massacres occurred on the first martial saint continent, the origin lineage. Some people wanted to protect themselves, some wanted to become stronger, and some wanted to become the third emperor. So, the war that lasted for thousands of years played out on this continent. The continent collapsed, the world sank, and the 3 realms opened. Only when the 9 emperors confirmed their Tao and completely suppressed the origin lineage and established the heavenly court did the war end. The first martial saint continent officially ended. This was the first martial saint continent. This was the 10,000 years of evolution since the beginning of the world. The beginning was warm and the end was bloody. Chapter 1441. The beginning of martial arts was over and the origin was opened. The origin, the root of darkness. Dongwang chuckled. Yes, the source of darkness. Turmoil, chaos, schemes, destruction, everything came from the origin. 30,000 years of origin inheritance, 30,000 years of bitter history. Wang Jinyang frowned as he did not hear about the origin's history. Then why did it become like this? Did the origin's flaws appear at that time? It wasn't serious in the beginning, but it started to get serious 10,000 years ago, Dong Huang sneered. You can blame us if you want, but blame the celestial Dharch and the sun god. Dong Huang said coldly. The celestial Dharch discovered the problem and kept saying it wasn't serious. He spent 20,000 years at the origin but to no avail. The sun god seized a portion of the power, making the origin imperfect. He was asked to return it, but he was unwilling. The problem is getting worse. It's so serious that we can't give up. What a joke. Give up? Dongwang sneered. Ask Ming if the beginning of martial arts will kill us if we give up our power. Ask the descendants of the martial god and the sword god if they will kill us. Ask them if they are willing to return to the beginning again. Jean, he's talented but naive. Dongwang said coldly, he's too naive. Naive was all the emperor's evaluation of Jean. Jean was very strong, and his talent was very strong. Everyone agreed on this point. Otherwise, why would the 3 emperors accept him as a disciple? At that time, the emperors would have proven their Tao. The 9 emperors were the most noble in the world. 3 of them had accepted him as a disciple. How terrifying was that? Jean actually persuaded them to give up their power. At that time, Jean had to die. Jean was strong and persistent. He felt that this was the most suitable thing to do. He would persevere. If he did not persevere enough, he would not reach that point. But how could the emperors be willing? That was suicide. As for what Jean said, he would protect the 9 emperors. What a joke. Who would entrust their lives to others? Jean's suggestion doomed him to death. Otherwise, the 9 emperors would not be at ease. The monster emperor said coldly, since the sun god absorbed some power and caused the origin to be imperfect, why would there be chaos after killing the sun god? He was also a beginning martial expert and had fought with the beast emperor. However, he did not understand some of the inside stories. For example, the sun god absorbed a large amount of energy and left. Him? Emperor Donghuang said faintly. He was one of the main culprits, but the problems in the later stages were not entirely his fault. The 9 emperors were all growing stronger, and by that time, the problem with their origin had become even more serious. The fact that more and more people in the 3 realms were cultivating the quintessence was also a problem. At that point, the Yang God is no longer the key. The Yang God, the 9 emperors, and the martial artists of the 3 realms source are all the main culprit. They are all dead and no longer cultivate. Only by destroying the source can we solve the problem of the source. Just as Donghuang was speaking, someone faintly said, "Don't say that I caused it. I didn't expect that either. Furthermore, if it wasn't for the fact that I absorbed the energy and prevented people from becoming emperors, there might have been a huge problem." The 9 emperors were still fine, but once the 99 emperors appeared, they would all absorb energy without limit. Look, the problem with the origin has long since erupted, and it's completely irremediable. Do you really think it's my fault? Nonsense, I did save the 3 realms. Without me, the 3 realms would have been destroyed about 20 to 30,000 years ago. Would there still be any of you? Donghuang snorted, but he did not refute. If the path of the origin was easy and everyone could become emperors, what would the situation be like now? It would probably have collapsed long ago. The source collapsed, the origin collapsed, and the martial artists of the 3 realms source were all annihilated. The Yang God quibbled that he saved the 3 realms. It could not be said that it was all sophistry, but there was some truth in it. At this moment, Wang Jinyang suddenly said, "Then now, if the emperors give up their power, and the Yang God and the Celestial Emperor return their power, can the loopholes in the origin be repaired?" Donghuang said lightly, "Maybe there's hope. But at this point, do you think it's possible?" Donghuang said coldly, "It's impossible. After so many years, how many blood debts have the emperors created? Do you think anyone will let us go? No. Ask Fong Ping, ask those people in the 3 realms, are they willing? Even if they are willing, we are not." Donghuang said calmly, "As Cheong said, we have been trapped for tens of thousands of years and have been prisoners for tens of thousands of years, but we are unwilling to die. Why? Just to give up everything and wait for your forgiveness? Why?" The Yang God said faintly again, "If they give up, there will still be people who will go to the origin. This chaos will continue to repeat again and again. Reincarnation, tens of thousands of years later, there will be another reincarnation. When that time comes, you will be the ones who will be slaughtered. The new emperors will replace the old emperors again and again, the 3 realms will be destroyed sooner or later." The seed, the Yang God laughed and said, "Only the seed can save all of this. Completely repair the loopholes in the origin, so that there are no more flaws in the origin. What a pity, what a pity, the seed has its own intelligence, and it is also unwilling. Tell me, how can this be fixed?" The Yang God laughed and said, "There's no way to fix it. The seed is also involved, so there's no other way. Things are getting more and more chaotic. Now that things have come to this, we can only turn everything upside down and sort out everything." Wang Jinyang shouted, "Do you have to do this? If the killing continues, the 3 realms will be completely destroyed, and it will not end well. Do you have to choose this way? Since the seed can solve the problem, then find the seed. It is not necessary to exterminate the human race. The Emperor knows, Qin Fengqing knows, they know where the seed is. Your Yang God, don't you know where the seed is?" "So what if I know?" The Yang God said faintly, "The seed has wisdom. Let's put it this way, the wisdom of the 3 realms was its wisdom. It also had 7 emotions and 6 desires. It didn't want to be a prisoner. Why should it be a perpetual motion machine? Therefore, it also wanted to struggle, it also wanted to dispel everyone's thoughts. Do you know why you have to slaughter the entire human race in order for the seeds to appear? Because your intelligence is its intelligence. If you go extinct, it will become a newborn fetus. It will become a fool, so of course it will be easy to deal with. Therefore, he had to slaughter the human race. So, even though it knows that slaughtering humans will affect it, it's still overflowing with energy, because without humans it has no intelligence. Wang Jinyang frowned. So that's how it is. The human race and the seeds were closely related. If the human race was wiped out, the seeds would lose their intelligence. At that time, they would have to be perpetual motion machines. But with the seed of wisdom, how could he be willing to be a prisoner? This was a paradox. Contradiction. He wanted to exterminate the human race and capture the seed. If he didn't exterminate the human race and capture the seeds would not be willing to surrender. In this way, the flaw in the origin could not be solved. At this point, everything returned to the original state. Wang Jinyang was speechless. But could killing like this solve the problem? A temporary solution might be possible. They could kill the emperor, or the emperor would kill them, destroy the three realms, and fill the hole in the source land. If they destroyed the human race and found the seeds, they might be able to solve the problem completely. But could the human race agree? It was impossible. Seeing this, Dong Wang said indifferently, "So, this is an irreconcilable contradiction. The best way, the way to solve it once and for all, is to exterminate the human race now, find the seeds and fill the hole. But do you agree? Since you don't agree, then there will be no lack of war. And if you kill us..." In fact, the contradiction still cannot be resolved. Tens of thousands of years later, this scene will repeat itself. If I say now that for the three realms the human race will be exterminated, will you agree? Wang Jinyang, whether you fight or Wang Jinyang, it's not that no one has considered what you said, it's just that it won't work. Dong Wang chuckled. So, the 9 emperors decided to let the humans become emperors first, fill their hole, and escape. Then, we'll think of a way to solve this problem. Exterminate the human race, destroy the seed's consciousness, in short, let the 9 emperors escape first. That's how the current situation is, the people of the 3 realms becoming emperors, and the old emperors escaping. Wang Jinyang was silent. At this moment, everyone in the 3 realms was speechless. In the end, it seemed like everything would be resolved through battle. No one would give in. Whoever gave in would die. This was no longer a simple battle of martial power, but a battle of martial Tao. Everyone carried many things on their back. At this time, the underworld god frowned. What about the ash? Can the ash make up for these flaws? It can't. Dong Wang sighed. The ash is an unexpected product, but if it can make up for the holes, perhaps it will consume much less energy. It can even be used as a substitute for the seeds. What do you mean? Dong Wang smiled. It's simple. The ash will continue to cultivate in the source, consolidate the great Tao, consolidate the origin, and rely on its own strength to suppress the origin. Of course, it's best if someone cooperates. The ash will consolidate the origin and the great Tao, and another person will suppress the chaos of the ash's origin. Dong Wang chuckled. This person needs to be very strong, or not just one person, but several people. Dong Wang said meaningfully, if the sun god and the celestial Dharch are willing, they can actually solve many problems. Gather all the flaws of the source into the ash. Let the celestial Dharch and the sun god enter its origin and suppress the flaws. This way there's no need for seeds. A new way. The underworld god did not expect that Dong Wang would give a new way just by asking. The ash will absorb the flaws of the origin. The sun god and the celestial Dharch will suppress it. This way they can also create a small perpetual motion machine that can solve the chaos of the source. Of course, the ash's power is limited, and so is the sun god and the others. It's fine now, but in a few years, if more emperors are born, they may not be able to suppress it. Dong Wang smiled. The ash and the two of them are the second choice. The seed is the first choice. The third choice is to kill the current powerhouses and return to the beginning. The fourth choice is for the new emperor to replace the old emperor and continue to suppress the source. Let the old emperor go out and roam for 10,000 years, and then switch to suppress it. The fifth choice is for the new emperor to kill the old emperor and fill in the flaws. After tens of thousands of years, everything will be repeated. Dongwang gave many choices in one breath. However, the first choice was the seed, and that was to destroy the human race. The second choice required the ash, the celestial Dharch, and the sun god to be imprisoned forever. The next one was the current one. They would either fight and perish together, or one side would be wiped out. Everyone had a myriad of thoughts in their minds. In that case, the easiest choice was still the second choice, but would the sun god and the celestial Dharch be willing? Would the ash be willing? Would Fang Ping agree? Things had once again fallen into a quagmire. Wang Jinyang's eyes flickered, and he suddenly said, "The sun god has not appeared for so many years. What is it doing? Is there no way at all?" In the void, the sun god laughed and said, "I'm thinking of a way. The first time, I tried to recreate the three realms. In the end, that old thing, the celestial Dharch, thought that I had seized the power of the source and insisted on making trouble. He blew it up for me. I realized that it really didn't work, so I gave up. The second time, I went to discuss with the seed and let it be a perpetual motion machine. It didn't agree and wanted to kill me. In a fit of anger, I fought with it. It was very strong, but I couldn't beat it. I've been recuperating for many years. The third time, I'm experimenting. I'm experimenting to see if there is a new path that can replace the origin path and stop everyone from taking the origin path. This path is not reliable. Unfortunately, no new path has appeared yet. If it wasn't for me, would the human world have come this far?" The sun god laughed and said, "Moreover, it's not possible to not take the origin path. If we really don't, the origin path will be exhausted, and the 9 emperors will be finished. There's no other way. The celestial Dharch and the 9 emperors won't agree. I'm in a difficult position. Therefore, I can only take it one step at a time." "Hasn't 8,000 years passed just like that?" The sun god laughed again and said, "The celestial Dharch is actually thinking of a way. Look, isn't the immortal source the way? Gather the origin path of the 3 realms and fill it in at once. First, let them get out of trouble, then destroy the human world. When the seed has no intelligence, then fill it in. To be honest, I think this method might be the most reliable." This was the truth. The sun god also felt that the celestial Thearka's plan was actually not bad. Fill in the powerhouses of the 3 realms, not all of them, just a portion. Then, destroy the human race and fill in the seed. There would be no hidden dangers in the origin. There were still people in the 3 realms, such as those in the catacombs. After a few years, the new humans that appeared might not necessarily provide the seed with intelligence. The plan was not bad. If not, the 9 emperors would not have agreed. Of course, it was not like this at first, but everyone knew that it was like this. This was the way to solve the problem once and for all. However, if you want to strengthen the immortal source so that the human martial artists have enough strength to fill the origin path, you have to bear the possibility of powerhouses appearing in the human race. Thus, King Wu and the others came into being. This was also a way for the seed to save itself. The seed was also causing trouble. This was the reason why the powerhouses of the 3 realms charged into the origin path and did not want to be schemed against by the celestial Dharch and the 9 emperors. Things seemed to have entered a dead end again. Unbreakable. There was no way to break this situation. In the origin path, the celestial Dharch seemed to have heard this. In fact, the voices of Dongwang and the sun god were also transmitted to the origin path. At this moment, the celestial Dharch also said with a complicated look, Fong Ping, actually, the best way is to let the cat, the celestial Dharch, and the sun god suppress it. In the distance, the cat did not care about the North Emperor anymore. It turned its head and looked into the distance. It looked confused. The cat could use the trash can to absorb the disaster of the origin path, find the two strongest powerhouses to suppress it, and create a small perpetual motion machine. Even if it could not completely solve the problem, it could still make the three realms peaceful for countless years. However, at this time, the sun god laughed and said, "It doesn't have to be me and the celestial Dharch. For example, the 9 emperors can also come. If the 9 emperors can't come, it can also work with you new emperors. The key is, do you agree?" Actually, this old man isn't too happy about it. This imprisonment means that I'll die. Is the celestial Dharch willing? Old man, tell me, are you willing? Human nature was selfish. The sun god was not willing. What about the celestial Dharch? He would not be willing either. Would Fong Ping and the others, plus the 9 emperors, be willing to suppress it? Probably not either. Fong Ping's expression changed. He said coldly, "Then kill the 9 emperors and 1 emperor and make do for a while." The sun god said faintly, "After killing the 9 emperors and 1 emperor, do you want to kill me and the celestial Dharch and make do for a while?" Not a bad choice. Fong Ping said coldly, "Anyway, I've lived long enough, haven't I? But I haven't lived long enough." The sun god sighed and said, "Fong Ping, why don't you suffer a little? I'm serious. If you die and 30% of the human race die, the seed will probably lose its consciousness. We can solve this problem once and for all." Senior sun god, are you going to slaughter the human race? I'm just saying. The sun god laughed and said, "Don't count me in. To be honest, the chaos in the source has nothing to do with me. I didn't dig into the source, and I didn't even go to the source. Actually, it has nothing to do with me. Unless you really destroy the 3 realms, I'm actually the freest. I'm thinking about you. At most, I'll return the power that I absorbed back then. Among the powerhouses of the 3 realms, the sun god was the freest. The others were either trapped in the source, trapped in the immortal source, or the targets of the 9 emperors. After thinking about it, it was the bastard sun god who had transcended. He wanted to solve the problem of the source now because if the source continued to be chaotic, it might lead to the complete destruction of the 3 realms. At that time, even if he was a beginner, he would still be in big trouble. At this moment, the heavenly King Jin could not help but curse, "Old man, if you hadn't absorbed the power of the source back then, there might not have been a problem. Aren't you stirring shit up?" The sun god said innocently, "Nonsense. Let me ask you, if I throw 100 star stones in front of you now, do you want them? Do you absorb them or not? After absorbing them, you tell me that you don't want this power? Bullsh *t. How would I know that I can't absorb the power of the source? You have to blame the celestial Dharch. This old man discovered this thing for no reason. I'm very innocent, I can't do anything about it. Also, if he didn't break this star back then, maybe he would have been fine? I've always wondered if there was a problem because he broke the star." As soon as he said this, someone in the void said softly, "Yang, now that things have come to this, there's no point in saying this. Back then, I never thought that after breaking the source, such a situation would happen. I've also learned my lesson." What lesson? Suppressing the source for tens of thousands of years. The strongest expert in the world had disappeared from the 3 realms for a full 30,000 years. Even if he appeared, it would be a glimpse. The celestial Dharch was also bearing the consequences. As the celestial Dharch spoke, he sighed and said, "Everyone, do you really want to destroy the 3 realms today? If we continue fighting, the 3 realms will be destroyed. Everyone will die, including me, including the sun god. If the 3 realms are destroyed, the seed will lose its consciousness and no one will control it. If the 3 realms are rebuilt, Cheong, you won't be able to live alone. Don't think that you and I can still live if the source is destroyed. Digging into the source is entrusting your life to the source. The sun god smiled and said, That's hard to say. You're dead for sure, but I won't necessarily die. When the time comes, I'll control the seed, fill this pit, and rebuild the three realms. I'll be the god of creation. Don't say, What a good idea. The sun god laughed and said, Everyone, speaking of which, this is indeed a good idea. Don't worry, I'll rebuild the three realms. This time, there won't be any problems. The celestial Dharch, that idiot, has harmed the three realms for so many years. I've learned my lesson. This time, I'll definitely pay attention. The sun god might not die. He would rebuild the three realms. You? The celestial Dharch said softly, If the source is destroyed, the power you absorb from the source will also backfire on you. How much you absorbed back then is how much you will suffer. Even if you return it, can you really pay it back now? That doesn't mean I'll die. The three realms will be destroyed, and the sea of bitterness will devour you. Can you withstand the devouring of the sea of bitterness? It's hard to say. Even if you survive the sea of bitterness, can you still control the seed? The seed recreates the three realms and creates the world. Can you still survive? It's hard to say, but I think I can. Even if you can, it may take tens of thousands of years for the birth of life in the three realms to be reopened. After hundreds of thousands of years, you will die of old age. Are you really willing to live alone for tens of thousands of years and wait for death to come? The sun god was suddenly speechless and said angrily, I'm willing. It's fine if I'm alone. Being alone is also good. I can play alone too. The celestial Dharch chuckled and soon sighed again. Everyone, let's stop fighting. Stop fighting? The divine emperor shouted angrily and sent the human emperor flying with a punch. He shouted angrily, How can we stop fighting now? Sooner or later, we still have to fight to the death. You've been suppressing the source for so many years, what have you achieved? Do you think I don't know what you're thinking? Do you really think I don't know that you want to cast the source again and seal all of us in the source? Song Mao accepts filth and the 9 emperors suppress the whole. Isn't this part of your plan? Have you succeeded in all these years? Maybe soon. Stop fighting. Will I give you time? Give you time to absorb the immortal source into the source? Celestial Dharch, do you really think all the people in the world are idiots and can be schemed by you? You and the sun are singing the same tune, do you really think I can't see through it? The divine emperor shouted coldly, Fong Ping, do you really think the sun is a good person? Suppressing the human world is the sun's intention to strengthen the immortal source, so that the immortal source has enough power to help the celestial Dharch escape, suppress us, and cast the source again. The fate of the human race has long been decided. The sun and the celestial Dharch want to destroy you, we want it too, but they want more, and our lives, including yours. Fong Ping's face was cold and he sneered. I know. I knew a long time ago that you old antiques, which one of you really cares about the human race? Including myself, do I really care about the human race? I just can't accept being used as a pawn, as a sacrifice. The day the realm wall breaks, it must be the day the immortal source matures. Today, the situation of the three realms is generally clear. That's good, fortunately I came in advance, otherwise, if that day comes, there might really be no chance. At this moment, the layout of the three realms was completely clear. Exterminate the human race. This was the consensus of the old antiques. Because the success rate was the highest and the effect was the best, the human race and the seed were linked. But would Fong Ping agree? Of course not. Besiege the North Emperor, besiege the Beast Emperor. Fong Ping bellowed. On the other side, old Zhang and the others were also furious. If so, then kill the 9 emperors first. The celestial Dharch heaved a sigh. Spirit, stop them. Battle, stop watching the show. If this goes on, we will all be exterminated. You won't be able to escape. The celestial Dharch laughed. I'm not watching the show. I just have something to ask you, the celestial Dharch grinned. I just want to know, 8,000 years ago, which bastard tricked me into the source. I walked the path of energy, and wanted to try the second source. How did I end up in the source? This is strange. It has been 8,000 years and I still can't figure it out. 8,000 years ago, he had not walked the path of the source. But 8,000 years ago, he was walking the path of energy. Suddenly, he entered the source. He was dumbfounded. There was no justice. He fell into the trap just like that. Otherwise, he would be able to watch the show like the Yang God today. The celestial Dharch chuckled. There is a Yang in the three realms. There should not be a second Do. I wasn't the only one who thought this way. Everyone, including Yang, thought the same. He didn't want another person like him to join the ranks of the academy. He just conveniently pushed you into the pit. Oh right, Hong is the most enthusiastic. Otherwise, he would have stopped you from preaching in the land realm. The celestial Dharch burst into laughter and sighed. You guys can't bear to see others doing well. Otherwise, I can create a second source, and maybe I can solve the problem of the source. The celestial Dharch said calmly, why don't you create your own? You created the path of energy, but you insisted on building it on the source. Your path has a more serious flaw. Energy wraps around the source. It is just a pseudopath. Instead of making the source worse, I would rather let you enter the trap so that you won't continue to add to the mess. The celestial Dharch smiled helplessly. Finally, I understand everything. No wonder. No wonder he fell into a trap 8,000 years ago. Everyone tricked him together. Then there was nothing he could do. These people did not want another bystander. The celestial Dharch did not want him to burden the source ground either. Therefore, they tricked him into entering the trap. Now, he was in deep trouble. It was better to call it the 10 sovereigns than the 9 sovereigns and the emperor. If we continue to fight, the source ground will collapse. The celestial source is not mature yet. Today is not the time to collapse. The celestial Dharch heaved a sigh. All of a sudden, he reached behind him, the sky covering palm. With a rumble, the page boy and the others were smashed away. The celestial Dharch laughed. Let's wait for a while. When the world barrier is broken and the three realms are united, we can fight again after the source ground is repaired. It will not be a loss no matter who dies. If someone dies now, it will be a great loss. At this moment, the celestial Dharch was no longer powerless when he was chasing Fong Ping. With a single punch, he sent Xu Xiang flying. Then, he turned around and sent Zhang Tao flying with another punch. Then, he grabbed the old cat and the heavenly hound with his palm and tossed them several tens of thousands of miles away. Chiong said that there are 4 chess players in the 3 realms. I think you guys are ignoring me. Show me some respect. The celestial Dharch chuckled. He ignored Fong Ping and let him destroy the source ground. Let's go when it's about time. It's enough to take advantage of the situation. Today is not the day for the final battle. You go back and stabilize the second source ground. If the effect is good, there might not be a bloody battle in a few months. Cat, go back and cultivate. Become stronger. Who knows, you might be able to suppress the chaos of the source ground. That will be a great merit. Meow. What's the use of scolding me? The celestial Dharch grinned. I didn't start the chaos of the source ground. There are too many people you should scold. Plus, you have been having fun for tens of thousands of years. You don't lose anything. A cat trapped is better than the 3 realms trap. I should have taught you a lesson back then and made you stronger. Meow, scolding me is useless. The celestial Dharch grinned again. With a punch, the cat was blasted out of the source ground. The celestial Dharch was incomparably valiant, the top 4 powerhouses in the 3 realms. Chapter 1442. Emperor of Heaven Reverse made a move. He smashed away the cat and smacked the heavenly hound's head. The heavenly hound shook its head, and could not come back to its senses. The Emperor God shouted, "Battle, let's kill them!" The Emperor God did not want to give up. He did not want this to happen again. However, the Emperor of Heaven Reverse did not agree. He smiled, "Cheong, you know it is impossible." The Emperor of Heaven will not agree. The Emperor God bellowed, "Idiot! The source is not mature, but if we devour it and absorb the origin warriors of the three realms into the source, at least 80% of it can be repaired. What are we waiting for?" He knew that the Emperor of Heaven and the others were waiting for the source to mature, but it was almost time. What were they waiting for? Wait for variables? Fools! Today they could absorb the source, kill Fang Ping, and kill the new Emperor. The Emperor of Heaven and the others had a chance to escape. If the seed appeared, they could take care of the seed as well and stuff it into the source. Then the problem would be solved. 10,000 years of planning was not in vain. It was fruitful. After 10,000 years, there was a new emperor to replace the old one, and the source was about to mature. If he didn't attack now, then when would he? The Emperor God bellowed, "Emperor of Heaven, what are you trying to do?" The Emperor God's voice was calm. "The three realms are not united yet. Absorbing the source will consume too much energy." Excuses? The Emperor God snarled, "Excuses? It will consume too much energy, but we can kill more and it will be solved. I know what you are trying to do. You don't even want to let us go. Yes or no? If we kill Fang Ping today, you will have less hope to kill us, right? You want to seal the source and kill us all? In your dreams." The Emperor God yelled, "You are still waiting for more people to become emperors. The more people, the stronger you are. Once the source absorbs the source, you will be able to kill all of us for a short while. Isn't that right?" There were good and bad ones when there were too many emperors in the source. For the Emperor of Heaven, the more emperors in the source, the stronger he was. Of course, the crack to the source was bigger. But that did not matter. The Emperor of Heaven only needed a short while to seal the source and kill all the emperors. By then, even without the seed, the Emperor of Heaven would be able to control the source and solve the problem. As for the chaos that would erupt in the origin land again, that would probably be 10,000 years later. The celestial Thearcha's voice was calm. "From the very beginning, I only wanted to solve the problem. It was you who made it more and more complicated." The Divine Emperor sneered, "Yes, solve the problem. If you kill us, half of the problem will be solved. If you kill yourself, the problem will be temporarily solved. Why don't you kill yourself? In the past, you knew that there was a problem with the source of Tao. Why didn't you stop it from spreading the Tao? Wasn't it because the more origin martial artists there were, the stronger you, the founder, would be? Since we're on the same path, there's no need to pretend to be a white lotus." The Divine Emperor sneered. After all, they were the same kind of people. "Today I'll kill Fang Ping and the others, devour the immortal source, and solve most of my problems." The celestial sovereign remained silent. Emperor of Heaven Reverse said, "Give it up. He will not let us kill now. If we kill now, you and I may be free, but he cannot." That was the key. After swallowing the immortal source and killing Fang Ping and the others, the divine emperors and the others had hope of escaping. In the end, all the trouble was left to Celestial Emperor. Celestial Emperor would be an idiot to agree to kill when he was not sure he could escape. Only if he could also escape, then Fang Ping and the others would be in danger. Everyone wanted to kill them. Emperor of Heaven Reverse understood, and so did the Divine Emperor. But the Divine Emperor was unwilling. He shouted again, "Reverse, you want to wait too? Kill them today and we both have hope to escape. With many new emperors we can escape from the source." Emperor of Heaven Reverse forced a smile. He looked around and sighed. Who agreed? Hong. The Divine Emperor shouted, You want to stop us from escaping with them? Kill them and you will have hope too. Emperor of Earth said calmly, What hope? How many new emperors are there? Zhen, you can't kill them. Yang God is still waiting. Korin? That's my son. Do you dare to kill him? Zhao, Shu Xiang, and Sky Dog are 3 new emperors. Qin Fengqing, he is with Ji Hao. Fang Ping and Song Mao did not pierce the source. Is there any Dao fruit? King Wu is borrowing strength. Once the source is swallowed, the Dao fruit will disappear. Emperor of Earth heaved a sigh. There are only 3 that can be killed. Is 3 enough for one of you to escape? Soon, Emperor of Earth grinned. Unless we kill Ji, Shou, Xian, and Ling at the same time. Otherwise, how are we going to free you and me? He did not trust the Divine Emperor. The Divine Emperor was right. Today was indeed an opportunity. The key was that the opportunity belonged to the Divine Emperor and Emperor of Heaven Reverse, not them. Xian, Beast, and the others were also silent. They were not idiots. There were many new emperors, but they were not enough for 2 powerful warriors to share. They might become prisoners as well. It all depended on the Heaven Emperor's attitude. The source of immortality was connected to the dark abyss where the Heaven Emperor was. Unless the Heaven Emperor did not take the energy from the source of immortality to repair the dark abyss and instead gave it to them, there was hope for them to escape. But was it possible? The Heaven Emperor was willing to help them. In your dreams. Even the Heaven Emperor refused the Divine Emperor's suggestion to kill Fang Ping. He was waiting for the source of immortality to grow again. There must be someone else in the 3 realms who could become emperors again. Definitely. When there were more new emperors, it would be a disaster for them as well as an opportunity for them. Killing 2 new emperors would be enough for them to escape. The Divine Emperor looked around, his face cold. No one agreed. The Heaven Emperor did not agree, the Earthly Sovereign did not agree, and the Human Sovereign did not agree. Even Xian and Shou did not agree. They wanted to wait a little longer. Today was not a chance for them to fish in troubled waters. Emperor North wanted to fish in troubled waters, and he almost succeeded. If Moon Spirit was not replaced by Hong Yu, he might be able to fulfill his wish. But he failed. After his failure, Emperor North did not say a word. He no longer mentioned anything about escaping. Clearly, he was worried that he would become someone else's bait. He would rather lie low and wait for the 3 realms to be in complete chaos. At this time, Fang Ping suddenly said, If a monster plant achieves Emperor now, will the source be more stable? Or repair some cracks? The Heaven Emperor suddenly added, If a monster plant achieves Emperor, the biggest dark crack in the source will be healed. A perfected Great Tao is helpful to the source. Fang Ping, you can leave this time, however, Skywood becoming Emperor is beneficial to you and me. Or rather, it is beneficial to the 3 realms. The smaller the hole in the source, the less energy needed and the fewer people will die. If you did not kill the Tao tree that day, the source would not be as chaotic as it is now. Monster plants becoming Emperor was beneficial to the source. It was actually beneficial to the 3 realms. The smaller the hole in the source, the fewer people would die in the end and the less energy needed to repair it. Unfortunately, the Tao tree was killed by Fang Ping before it could condense its Tao fruit. Now, Skywood was the only one in the 3 realms who had the highest chance of becoming the monster plant emperor. Fang Ping suddenly calmed down and said, If you want Skywood to become emperor, the price you have to pay is not small. Today, everyone's Tao will be strengthened, but if it wants to cross the broken path, it won't do without a lot of stellar stones. Give me 100 stellar stones and we will retreat. Let Skywood become emperor. It will be mutually beneficial. You're dreaming. The Divine Emperor bellowed coldly, Celestial Emperor, if you go crazy and continue to support the enemy, even if this source is destroyed today, I will not let you have a good ending. Supporting the enemy. giving Fong Ping stellar stones now. If it was not supporting the enemy, what was? The Celestial Emperor was really capable, because Fong Ping could not threaten him now. Moreover, Fong Ping was strong and could help him restrain the Divine Emperor. For him, the disadvantages outweighed the advantages. But the Divine Emperor did not agree. He would not allow such a thing to happen. Fong Ping did not care and said lightly, "Up to you. After I go back, I will break the path of the 3 emperors and dismantle the stellar stones. When the time comes, the source will be sealed. Let's see how you can escape from the source." As he said that, he looked at the 4 doors and sneered, "These doors can still be used now. Once the immortal source is devoured, I'm afraid the doors will also be broken, right?" The Divine Emperor was cold and silent. At this point, he had already understood that these people could not stay today. The Celestial Emperor did not agree, the other emperors did not agree. Although he was strong, he was not a match for these people. The Divine Emperor sneered, "Nurturing a tiger and waiting to die. Everyone thinks that everything is within their calculations. I see, when the 3 realms become one, who will regret it? Fong Ping, this is an ungrateful wolf. Sooner or later, he will turn against you. You know the danger, but you still want to let the tiger return to the mountain. Fine. I will fulfill your wish. Huang's death is just the beginning. I will wait for the day when you all regret it." Everyone was silent. Did they not know about Fong Ping's threat? They knew. But knowing was one thing. The key was that the interests of all parties could not be balanced. The Celestial Emperor did not want to fulfill the wishes of others before he could escape. The others were afraid that the Divine Emperor and Do did not have enough strength to escape. They would kill them after Fong Ping and the others. No matter how they thought about it, it was not necessarily a bad thing that Fong Ping and the others were alive. The Divine Emperor suddenly stopped and sneered. His figure slowly disappeared. The next moment, the 36 heavens shook heavily. Heaven and earth stabilized. The Divine Emperor was also a decisive person. Since they did not agree to kill them, then let them go. But today, he had thoroughly probed some things. Fong Ping, don't think that killing Huang is the end and success. In the end, the human race is still the goal of all the emperors in the 3 realms, including these people who became emperors today. The Divine Emperor's voice was cold. Hong, Kun, Creation, Zhen, they also want to escape. There is no time to think about it today. In a few days, they will know how painful it is to be trapped in the source. Your enemies will only increase. The more emperors there are, the more enemies you will have. Those who become emperors will eventually go against you. This is not me trying to sow discord. This is the truth. Fong Ping sneered and did not reply. The Divine Emperor also laughed, his laugh meaningful. Becoming an emperor. Today he was an emperor, tomorrow he would be a prisoner. People's hearts changed easily. The longer it dragged on, the more enemies Fong Ping would have. The powerhouses who protected the human race today might have other ideas tomorrow. Why not destroy the human race? What about destroying the human race to lure out the seeds? This was not something he made up. This was the truth. Because they were all people who had experienced it. Of course, it might not happen in a short time. But after a long time, people's hearts would change. The Divine Emperor fell into silence. At this moment, he did not speak or appear. At this moment, he even wished that the 3 realms' convergence would be delayed. That was good. He wanted to see if the others could not stand the hardship and turn against Fong Ping. The Celestial Emperor did not mind the Divine Emperor. He looked at those people and sighed. Nowadays, the number of new emperors is increasing. The source is becoming more and more unstable. I am afraid you will all have to go to the source. Previously, the Divine Emperor was sharing the burden for others. Now, the Divine Emperor simply hid in his own territory. He did not care anymore. In this case, after Emperor Shi left, there would be no one to guard the seventh heaven left by Emperor Nan. At this moment, the celestial emperor said again, "Spirit, guard the source. Do, guard the place left by desolation. How, return to the source and guard the source. Hong, you stay as well. Guard the heaven you were guarding. Previously, when you disappeared, we were suppressing the riots for you. Now that you have shown up, I am afraid you cannot leave." Previously, the earthly emperor also left a part of his force at the source, but there were still some disturbances and the others helped. Now, who would help him? Now, the divine emperor only cared about his own territory. Without the help of the Emperor Shenhuang, the Emperor of Heaven Reverse had to suppress his own territory and Emperor Nan's territory. The pressure was immense. He might not be able to spare much strength. As for the territory left behind by the Spirit Sovereign, the Celestial Arch was probably suppressing it. With the departure of the Divine Emperor, the matter seemed to have come to an end. In the void, Fong Ping's expression changed for a while. Today, Heavenly King Subduing King, God Creation Envoy, Book Fragrance, Heavenly Dog, Qin Fengqing, and Hong Kuan had all confirmed their Tao. According to the current situation, these 6 people would probably have to stay in the origin land to suppress the unrest. They weren't veteran emperors. Other than the subduing Heavenly King who had some strength left, the others probably wouldn't be able to leave the source ground. Is it good or bad? Most importantly, staying in the source land was also quite dangerous. The battle seemed to have ended, but in reality it was just the beginning. Heaven Emperor Reverse was persuading for peace, Heaven Emperor was stopping God Emperor from killing, Human Sovereign and Earthly Sovereign seemed to be helping the human race, but in fact, they were helping themselves. As for Fong Ping himself, he was not strong enough. The current him was at most on the same level as the North Emperor. He was inferior to the current Heavenly King Zhen. The situation seemed clear and bright, but the undercurrent was getting more and more turbulent. Today, Celestial Emperor, Sun God, and Earthly Sovereign had appeared one after another. The invincible powerhouses of the 3 realms had all appeared. At this point, except for the seed that hadn't appeared yet, the others had all appeared. This also meant that the 3 realms would return to one soon. Celestial Emperor didn't answer Fong Ping's question. He didn't say he would give him the stellar stones. If Heavenly Wood could prove his Tao, then so be it. If not, it didn't matter. If he gave Fong Ping the stellar stones, Fong Ping might not necessarily give them to Heavenly Wood. Instead, he would use them for his own cultivation. It was not that Celestial Emperor didn't understand the principle of nurturing a tiger and inviting disaster. Now, other than these methods, Fong Ping actually had no other means to improve. True Blood, Stellar Stones, these were Fong Ping's next means to improve himself. The key was that it was almost impossible for him to get True Blood again. As for the Stellar Stones, there weren't many reserves in the hands of the emperors unless Fong Ping went to look for them himself. He went to those chaotic lands where no one was guarding to look for them. The lands guarded by the other emperors were almost plundered clean. Fong Ping actually had no good means to improve. This was also the reason why Celestial Emperor was willing to wait for a while longer. He asked Spirit Emperor to suppress the celestial origin to prevent anyone from escaping from the celestial origin. Fong Ping looked around. At this moment, Celestial Emperor Reverse appeared in front of him again, smiling. Fong Ping, it's time for you to leave. Fong Ping looked at him, his eyes sparkling. Someone told me that you and the Emperor God are in cahoot. Later, someone told me that you and the Celestial Emperor are in cahoot. Now I see, you really are in cahoots with the Celestial Emperor. Though the others, I more or less understand them. But you and Donghuang, I really can't see through you. Now, the purpose of the Celestial Emperor and the Emperor God was very clear, but the purpose of Celestial Emperor Reverse and Donghuang was not clear. These two were also ancient beginner martial artists. They were also invincible powerhouses, especially Do, who was terrifyingly powerful. But Do had been doing nothing. What was he trying to do? What was his purpose? Dongwang too. He was extremely mysterious. Even when the war swept across the three realms, he did not participate much. It was very strange. Just as Fang Ping was thinking about this, Dongwang's voice suddenly rang out, sounding a little helpless. Everyone, Celestial Emperor, I can return, but the trouble in the land realm still needs to be resolved. The sea of misery is going to corrode the core of the land. Dongwang said again, it's very troublesome. The sea of bitterness can't be forced back. We can only let someone suppress the sea of bitterness. Who will suppress it? Trouble had appeared once again. The trouble caused by Li Zhu. This ruthless person had destroyed more than half of the outer region. Now that the Imperial Sea Mountain had collapsed, the seawater was rushing into the forbidden area. Now that the seawater could not be controlled, only an expert could oversee the bitter sea. Who's going to keep watch? Spirit Sovereign was guarding the immortal origin, but he was already somewhat powerless. There were too many ruthless people in the three realms. These people couldn't escape this time. Seeing that the three realms were about to unite, how could they not take action? After Fang Ping left the Source Land, he might continue to attack the immortal source. Someone else was needed to hold down the fort in Misery Sea. At that moment, the Celestial Emperor's voice echoed throughout the three realms, Shen, since you've escaped, how about suppressing the Sea of Bitterness? West Emperor. There was still an idler in the three realms, Emperor Shi. Sun God could actually do it too, but this fellow was uncontrollable and powerful. Even the Celestial Emperor could not make him do anything. Emperor Shi's voice came from afar. He chuckled and said, there's no time. It's not my home. I've just left the Source Land. You want me to suppress the Sea of Bitterness? What are you thinking? Celestial Emperor, I think that cat is idle. This fellow Fang Ping is difficult to deal with. That cat is your pet. Let it work. Let the cat do it. He was not willing to suppress the Sea of Bitterness. As he spoke, in the next moment, a huge cat's paw suddenly pierced through the sky and earth where West Emperor Palace was. The paw tore through West Emperor Palace. In the blink of an eye, a cat appeared angrily, baring its fangs and brandishing its claws. It said angrily, if you bully the cat again, I'll call you a liar every day. I'll beat you to death. Emperor Shi was a little speechless. With a punch, he blasted the cat's paw out of West Emperor Dojo. Then, heaven and earth trembled. Spatial fluctuations. This fellow had teleported West Emperor Palace away. Forget it, I won't meddle anymore. Do whatever you want. Emperor Shi ran away immediately. The cat was no match for him, this was inevitable. However, he was not interested in competing with the cat. He could not kill this cat now, or rather, he could not kill anyone. If he killed this cat, the source would be even more chaotic. The Celestial Emperor would not let him kill him, the 9 emperors would not agree, and no one would agree to the new emperor. If that was the case, then he would not provoke him. At this moment, Emperor Dongwang suddenly laughed. Why don't we help Li Zhu become an emperor, the emperor of the Earth Realm? With the Earth Realm as the foundation, let Li Zhu suppress the Sea of Bitterness. I will help him suppress the world where Li Zhu is. He would help Li Zhu suppress the source, and let Li Zhu suppress the Sea of Bitterness. In this way, the problem would be solved. Not only this problem, there was also the problem of the destruction of the Earth Realm. Li Zhu would definitely not be satisfied with his failure this time. No one knew if he had other tricks up his sleeve. Now, let Li Zhu become an emperor, with the Earth Realm as the foundation, with the wishes of all living beings in the Earth Realm helping him become an emperor. If he destroyed the Earth Realm, even if he did not die, his Tao would be damaged. When that time came, Li Zhu, who wanted to destroy the Earth Realm, would instead focus on suppressing the Sea of Bitterness. Emperor Donghuang would instead attack Li Zhu, causing Li Zhu to be trapped in a cocoon of his own making. Would Li Zhu agree? If he could become an emperor, why wouldn't he agree? Of course he would. Even if this way, all his previous plans would be for naught, he had wanted to strengthen himself and destroy the plan. Now that he could safely become an emperor, why wouldn't he agree? These emperors were not easy to deal with. At this, the celestial emperor's voice shook the world. Li Zhu, are you willing to replace Hong and become the emperor of the Earth realm? In the 9 heavens, Li Zhu's eyes flashed. It was too difficult for him to become an emperor. Now, he had only broken through the first gate. It would take some time to break through the second gate, then he would break through the third gate and break through the Tao. Only then could he become an emperor. Obviously, all the emperors were willing to help him. Were they willing? If he agreed, he would borrow the power of the Earth realm and become an emperor with the help of the crowd, just like King Wu. But then, he would have to suppress the Sea of Bitterness to prevent it from devouring the Earth realm. Emperor Donghuang had a good plan. It was impossible to tell whether Emperor Donghuang had good intentions or evil intentions. Although Li Zhu would be trapped, he would not be worse off than he was now. He could become an emperor. After thinking for a while, Li Zhu, who had looked like he wanted to die with everyone, suddenly laughed and said, Li Zhu is willing. I am willing to be the emperor of the Earth realm, willing to serve the celestial emperor, willing to serve all living beings in the 3 realms. No one took it seriously. Not even the celestial emperor. At this moment, his voice shook the 3 realms and the Earth realm again. All living beings in the Earth realm, if you want to live, then respect Li Zhu as the emperor of the Earth realm. Otherwise, the sea will flow backward, the Earth realm will be destroyed, and all living beings will die. The people in the catacombs all hated Li Zhu to the core. But life and death were at stake. The sea was still flowing backward. They did not hide the conversation between the experts of the 3 realms. Should they pray for Li Zhu to become an emperor or not? If not, who would suppress the Sea of Bitterness? Although the emperors would not watch the Earth realm be destroyed, what if they did? Tens of thousands of people wailed. At this moment, even though the remaining people from the outer regions wanted to eat Li Zhu, under the leadership of some experts, some people became the vanguard. The 8 northern regions will respect Lord Li as the emperor. The 6 eastern regions will respect Lord Li as the emperor. The 9 western regions will respect Lord Li as the emperor. The outer regions, under the leadership of the experts, shouted. The outer regions were about to be devoured. No one cared about their lives. They could only save themselves. At this moment, loud shouts also rang out from the Forbidden Zone. The Tianji Royal Court will respect Lord Li as the emperor. The Modo Royal Court will respect Lord Li as the emperor. Apart from the Destiny Royal Court, the other true kings rose into the air and began to defend Li Zhu's name. Even some true monarchs from Destiny Royal Court were shouting at the top of their lungs. The Ji family had died for the Earth realm, but they also had to survive. The Ji family was a thing of the past. Humanity was exposed at this moment. And Li Zhu's great path reached the heavens. Countless figures appeared on the great path. The projections of the Earth realm experts entered the great path. Among the people in the catacombs, some were unwilling and some were indignant. But at this moment, they really hoped that Li Zhu could become an emperor and save the catacombs. Li Zhu laughed, a meaningful laugh. Demon? He was a demon, and he was also a god. The destruction of the Earth realm was imminent. Even if it was caused by him, at this moment, the Earth realm still needed him to suppress the Sea of Bitterness and save its people. Therefore, even if everyone hated him, they still hoped that he could become an emperor. They all agreed that he would become an emperor. This was human nature. Rumble. The second void gate shattered. In the blink of an eye, Li Zhu broke through the gate. The next moment, the third void gate appeared. With a rumble, the third gate was broken. At this moment, a cliff appeared. And at this moment, from the source, pieces of cosmic stones flew out of the gate. These cosmic stones flew out of the source and instantly shattered. Large amounts of energy surged out, opening a path between the cliff and the gate. The celestial Dharch supported Li Zhu in becoming an emperor. Therefore, he gave him a large number of cosmic stones to help him become an emperor. Otherwise, with Li Zhu's resources, he would not have been able to cross the broken path today. With a smile on his face, Li Zhu stepped toward the source. Please, celestial Dharch, give me a few more cosmic stones so that my true body can enter the source, travel between the three realms, and suppress the sea of bitterness. To enter the source with one's true body, one needed cosmic stones. Previously, it was not for no reason that Heavenly Hound and the others' true bodies entered the source. The God-forging artifact replaced the cosmic stones, and Hong Kuan borrowed the power of the energy stars. There were cosmic stones there. As for Heavenly Hound, this guy did not use cosmic stones. Fong Ping was not too sure how he entered. It could be the celestial Thearka's doing or the sun god's doing. As for Qin Fengqing, it must have been given to him by the emperor. Li Zhu wanted more cosmic stones, but the celestial Dharch did not refute. In the next moment, another 2 cosmic stones flew out. Fong Ping's eyes flickered, but he did not stop them. He could not stop them. Li Zhu becoming an emperor was not necessarily a bad thing. The celestial Dharch and the others thought that it was a good thing to let Li Zhu suppress the sea of bitterness, but Fong Ping did not think that these guys were smarter than Li Zhu. Just wait to be devoured. With a loud rumble, Li Zhu's true body broke through the gate and entered the source. In the first layer of the no man's sky, Dao fruits quickly condensed. Fong Ping and the others could not see clearly. Soon, Li Zhu exited from the no man's sky. At this moment, the land was shining with golden light. In the next moment, Li Zhu exited the source. With a laugh, his true body entered the sea of bitterness instantly. With a rumble, the sea of bitterness calmed down. The seawater no longer flowed backward and began to calm down slowly. As for Li Zhu, he disappeared from the 3 realms and entered the depths of the sea of bitterness. Li Zhu had proven his Tao and become an emperor. This was probably the most surprising new sovereign realm cultivator they had seen this time. However, all of this seemed to have been destined. Because of his ruthlessness, the 3 realms had no choice but to find another emperor to suppress the sea of bitterness. Li Zhu was the best choice. Chapter 1443. Li Zhu had proven his Tao. The land realm was loyal and the celestial emperor was helping him. It had to be said that Li Zhu's success this time, surpassing Hong Yu, Feng, and the monster emperor, was not just because of luck but also because of his ruthlessness. Some people were always like this. When the opportunity came, they could not stop it. Li Zhu disappeared. He went to misery. This time, 9th Heaven's momentum was actually weakened. Previously, because of Li Zhu's ruthlessness, although everyone disliked it, they had to admit that it was because of Li Zhu that they had confidence. Now that Li Zhu had run away, many people in 9th Heaven lost their confidence. In addition, Hong Yu was not here, Moon Spirit was suppressed, and Heavenly Hound went to the source. In this short moment, 9th Heaven was silent. And the source was also silent. At this point, many people actually felt that it was time for a temporary truce. There was still some time for everyone to plan. Today's Tao validation was everyone's chance and opportunity. At least it was safe. There was no need to wait for the 3 realms to be unified. There was no need to wait for other emperors to attack them. After today's battle, there were many people who had proven their Tao. The old emperors would have to think twice before attacking. It seemed like they had won. It seemed like they had won. It seemed like only a few old emperors had lost. But Fong Ping suddenly laughed. Had they won? Had they won? After today's chaos, the 3 realms had used all their trump cards. Those who had proven their Tao and those who had hidden had appeared. The earthly emperor had returned. Qin Fengqing had appeared. Heavenly King Zhen and the others had all proven their Tao. Li Zhu's trump card had been forced out. He had also become an emperor and surrendered. Emperor Nan was dead. Emperor Shi had left. The mentality seed, energy seed, and life seed had all been destroyed. The celestial emperor had appeared. The sun god had appeared. The human emperor had been exposed, Fang Ping's strength had been exposed. Even Xu Xiang had appeared. The three realms trump cards, ambushes had all appeared. Fang Ping smiled. His smile was cold. Beautifully done. He was praising the emperor god, the celestial emperor, and the chess players. What a beautiful job. It was only Emperor Nan's death. Did it have anything to do with them? Now, all the three realms' strength had been exposed. Actually, they had not suffered any losses. Instead, they had brought all the conspiracies and plots of the three realms to the surface. Had it been intentional? Or unintentional? Fang Ping sneered. It was probably not unintentional. It was probably done along with the situation. The Emperor God suddenly flipped out, forcing the powerhouses of the three realms to intervene, forcing the powerhouses of the three realms to take action at this time. If Fang Ping and the others were killed, then everything would be for naught. Now, the three realms had no more backup, no more thorns. The thorns had already entered the origin land. Although Fang Ping and King Wu had yet to enter the source land, the three realms already knew everything about them. The ambush, all of it had turned into nothing. I already know who you guys are, so how can I let you ambush me? When the three realms became one, he just had to keep an eye on Fang Ping and the rest. And before that, he needed to keep an eye on a lot of people. Even a monarch would not be able to keep an eye on all of them. Now they could keep an eye on Fang Ping and the others. Fang Ping snorted softly in his heart. The Emperor God and the rest were rather similar to him. Bring all the darkness into the light. They have the strength to suppress all of this as long as you don't play any tricks. If they were to play tricks, they were afraid that they would fail miserably in the end. Now that there were no more tricks, the probability of the boat capsizing was not high. The monarchs were indeed monarchs. Emperor Heaven Reverse and the Emperor God also cooperated well, one with a red face, the other with a white face. The time was not right yet. Even the Emperor God would not think that now was the time. The immortal source had not matured yet. Could killing Fang Ping and the others solve everything now? No. Now was the period when the three realms' powerhouses were improving the fastest. When the three realms became one, there would be a large number of powerhouses born in the three realms. At that time, the immortal source would have enough power to save everything. Not far away, old Zhang opened his mouth, suddenly feeling a little bitter. He looked at Fang Ping. It seemed like there was nothing to be happy about. This time, Xu Xiang was exposed, Heavenly King subduing, God crafting envoy, Heavenly Hound were sacrificed. It seemed like there was really nothing to be happy about. Killing Emperor Nan would only help Emperor Shi achieve his goal. Did Fang Ping earn? Did the humans earn? Zhang Tao looked at Hong Kuan and the earthly emperor, feeling sad. Would these two continue to help the humans? No way. Previously, it was just to save their lives. Now that they had become emperors, they might start calculating who to kill to free them. They might start calculating when the immortal source would mature so that they would have a chance to escape from the source. Needless to say, Li Zhu was a ruthless person. Why would he care about the humans? What about Heavenly Hound? As long as they did not use the ash cat to fill the hole, it might also feel that it was more appropriate to destroy the humans. After destroying the humans, there was no need for the ash cat to fill the hole. God crafting envoy, Heavenly King subduing, it was hard to say. Xu Xiang might not compromise. His goal was revenge. Heavenly Emperor Zhan's enemies were all here. Zhang Tao looked at Fang Ping again, suddenly feeling a little lonely. His allies had been pulled away. After that, no one distracted Fong Ping anymore. No one covered for Fong Ping anymore. What should he do? The three realms' eyes were on Fong Ping, on the humans. At this moment, he suddenly felt that he had lost out. It was clearly a big profit, but he really felt that it was a loss. In the distance, Heavenly King Subduing's eyes also flickered, frowning slightly. Previously, everyone was emotional, maybe they did not think much. Now, looking back, Fong Ping and Zhang Tao were in big trouble. Heavenly King Subduing snorted and growled, "The Source Land still has us." He was not going to leave. He, Shu Xiang, the Heavenly Hound, and the others had to work together to prevent them from being killed by the other sovereigns. Hence, he couldn't split his attention to the three realms anymore. He had to defend against the sovereigns here. He couldn't participate in what happened next. It all depended on Fong Ping and the others. Fong Ping smiled, no longer dejected. He stretched himself lazily, looked at Emperor of Heaven Reverse, and then at the others, and said with a faint smile, "It's nothing. We'll just wait. 3 realms being one, it's pretty good, be careful. I'll come to see you when I'm free. The birthplace is a good place. I'll come again next time." The Emperor of Heaven Reverse heaved a sigh. "I am afraid you cannot enter the 3 gates. In other words, the 3 gates could not enter the source of origin unless they walked the path of the 3 emperors. Or he could follow Wang Ruobing's path. However, someone knew where Wang Ruobing's Dao was. Unless Wang Ruobing's source was set up by Emperor Nan, that person must still be there, and this time, he was not exposed. The Qi and Blood Seed was perhaps the most important one. After all, there were too many humans who cultivated Qi and blood, and the target this time was the human race. Soon, a large number of human experts would also appear, and the Qi and blood seed would definitely mature. Who would harvest it? Fong Ping was curious too. He asked with a smile, "Since you've said it openly, I'm really curious. Is Wang Ruobing really not part of Qiong's plan?" The Emperor of Heaven Reverse smiled, and did not answer. The Emperor God did not make a sound. Was it the Emperor God? Right now, it was impossible to be sure. Even if the other emperors had a guess, no one would admit or deny it at this moment. "You should go." The Emperor of Heaven Reverse was chasing him away. Fong Ping laughed. "What's the hurry? It's not appropriate to kill me now, is it? Can't you wait for a while?" Was it appropriate to kill Fong Ping now? Not. The new emperor was not completely at ease yet. Killing him now would only force these people to join forces against the enemy. It was better to let it go and plan later. Yang God, the emperor, and the earthly emperor's attitudes were unclear now. If nothing went wrong, there would be another big show in the source of origin. Alliances, promises, alliances of interest, division, and roping in, all of these things would play out. The new emperors were not all Fong Ping's people. Fong Ping did not care about the others. He broke through the heavens and earth. In the blink of an eye, he arrived at a chaotic place. Here, someone was standing with a saber. Fong Ping blasted the void around him with a punch. The void was chaotic, blocking other people's prying eyes. On the opposite side, Qin Fengqing raised his eyebrows. Fong Ping looked at him and he looked at Fong Ping. "Congratulations, Emperor Qin." Fong Ping's tone was sarcastic. Emperor Qin hit it well. Qin Fengqing raised his eyebrows again. "Stab me? So what if I did?" Fong Ping said coldly, "I'm asking you, why didn't you tell me about the seeds?" "Why should I tell you?" Qin Fengqing said lazily, "Why should I tell you? I'm not your son. Do you think that now that you have some strength, you can compete with me as an equal? Why do you want to fight me?" Qin Fengqing sneered and then scolded, "Did I provoke you? You were in trouble and I came to save you. Why are you biting the hand that feeds you?" "Do I need you to save me?" Fong Ping snorted. "Don't give me that. You can do whatever you want. Do you really think the human race is mine? I don't care if they live or die. You, on the other hand, should care more. If the human race is destroyed, the seeds will suffer. You, the son of the seeds, aren't you afraid that something will happen to your old man? Get lost! Qin Fengqing scolded. That's your old man. I want to, but I don't have any connections. Can you introduce me? Qin Fengqing snorted. Are you waiting for me here? Want to know where the seeds are? Want to get their hands on them? Now that Fang Ping had no other means to improve his strength, it was normal for him to get his hands on the seed. Fang Ping said lightly, a piece of trash like you can become an emperor with the seed. I'll go look for the seeds. Tomorrow I'll be a celestial emperor. Qin Fengqing glanced at him. After a while, he snorted and said, Do you really think you can deal with the seeds? What a joke. Didn't you hear Sun God say that when he went to look for the seeds, he returned injured? If the seeds were so easy to deal with, they would have been dealt with by others long ago. It's just that it's limited by some things and has to raise a few dogs. This dog of mine is nothing. Celestial Emperor is actually a dog it raised. He was raised too strong and almost backfired on it. After that, it knew its limits and stopped raising dogs that were too strong. I didn't see that the Emperor still has this strength after so many years. You have some self-awareness. Fang Ping stabbed him again. Qin Fengqing did not take it seriously. He sneered. Of course I have self-awareness. If you say I don't, you probably don't. Are you in a hurry to die? If you want to die, I'll be happy to tell you how to find the seeds and how to die. Fang Ping was too lazy to answer. He said indifferently, Let me ask you something. Is there a new world inside the seeds? Probably. Qin Fengqing said lazily. The seeds probably regretted making such a world. The powerhouses are too strong and almost backfired on it. Maybe they're rebuilding the world. Back then, they didn't have much intelligence. They created the three realms based on their instincts. After that, they probably regretted it and wanted to retract all their powers. Source: Do you think it was really an accident? Most likely, the seeds made it to retract the powers of the three realms. They trapped Celestial Emperor and the 9 emperors and killed them. What do you think? The seeds are no longer the chaotic creatures that had just gained sentience. Now they're spirits. Fang Ping was shocked. Source: Seeds. Origin stars might be made by the seeds. It wanted to retract the powers of the three realms. Celestial Emperor and the other independent beginner martial artists eventually fell into the trap and became prisoners. If the situation developed according to the past, there might be some beginner martial artists who broke through 9 in the three realms. There might be a large number of beginner heavenly kings and a large number of beginner martial artists. These people were uncontrollable. After that, the source appeared. Celestial Emperor discovered the opportunity to become stronger. From then on, the entire three realms fell into the source. And the source was a shackle, a cage. This was made by the seeds? Fang Ping suddenly felt a little relieved. That was true. Other than the seeds, who else in the three realms could make that origin star? There were rumors before that the seeds had appeared in the source and even left a projection. The true blood was in the source. The seeds must have been here. Retract the powers of the three realms. Fang Ping suddenly laughed at himself. The seeds. When it was ignorant, it created beginner martial artists. Later, it realized that the beginner martial artists were uncontrollable. Moreover, there were many people chasing after it, wanting to devour it. It sensed danger. Hence, it created the origin stars. It lured Celestial Emperor into the trap. After that, it got out of hand. The entire three realms fell into this trap. The powerhouses became prisoners. The seeds were actually still creating a world. The world of martial arts destruction. It discovered the problem. Hence, it did not want martial arts to be born again. Hence, it created a world. And he might be from that world. Fang Ping took a deep breath. Am I also a dog raised by the seeds? However, judging from the attitudes of these people, it did not seem like it. Fang Ping had previously guessed that it might be a setup by one of the 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors. Why was it involved with the seeds? However, the 9 sovereigns and 4 emperors did not seem to be able to create something like the system, including that world. So the seeds want to destroy martial arts? Fang Ping frowned. You guys are its dogs. You want the 3 realms to destroy martial arts? Qin Fengqing said lazily. Whether martial arts is destroyed or not, I don't care. The purpose of our existence is very simple. To cause chaos in the 3 realms. Don't stare at the seeds for no reason. Since when have you been so obedient? Fang Ping sneered. You're not such an obedient dog. Nonsense. Who would be so obedient as a dog? Qin Fengqing yawned. Is it the emperor? Not the emperor either. However, you have to be obedient. Do you know what it means to be the son of destiny? The first generation of him was the celestial emperor. At that time, the seeds still had no consciousness, and their control was not strong. The later generations, their control was stronger than you think. The son of destiny. Who is the son of destiny? The seeds. We are all its sons. If you dare to be disobedient, we will beat you to death. I'm afraid of death. If I'm afraid of death, of course, I have to be obedient. Of course, it's fine. As long as it's to stop others from attacking it, we are very free. For example, if you want to deal with Sun God now, the Emperor and I will help you. Qin Fengqing grinned. That old fellow Sun God has been staring at the seeds. So, dealing with him is our mission. As for the Celestial Emperor and the 9 emperors, killing one is one less. Actually, it's fine. We can deal with anyone. However, if you deal with the Emperor and me, that won't work. Qin Fengqing laughed. It's still considered relatively free. It's just that there's a father above us. As long as we don't disobey that idiot father, no one will find trouble with us. It's that simple. When did this happen? Fang Ping asked. Qin Fengqing chuckled. How would I know? Probably a long time ago. Maybe before I was born? Who knows when? When I was young, the Emperor seemed to have chosen me, the dog of the generation after the Emperor, but something seems to have gone wrong. According to the Son of Destiny, it's the general trend. Actually, it's not like this. Old Zhang is considered a bright one. It can also be said to be an abandoned one. It's also considered a seed. It's an existence that attracts firepower from all sides. I'm considered a dark one. In fact, I'm the real son of destiny. When old Zhang, the bright one, dies, I will take over everything. The Emperor and I actually have the same goal as you, to protect the human race. Qin Fengqing said lazily. We are also guardians, protecting the human race. Lest the human race is destroyed and something happens to the seeds. As for you, this fellow, you're a sh*t stir. Of course, you're actually on the seeds side now. Don't ask me if you're arranged by the seeds. I don't know. I'm just a guardian. I don't know your sh*t. It doesn't seem like it. If the seeds arranged people, there would be some restrictions. You don't seem to have it. That's why I said you're sh*t stir. It's a mess. Who knows whose side you're on? The Emperor said you're a variable. He's right. You're a variable. Qin Fengqing grinned. Right? Don't tell me you're made by the Celestial Emperor? A long time ago, you called yourself the Celestial Emperor. Sometimes, this person's casual words may be a kind of subconscious. I thought you were the heavenly dog. Now, you might be related to the true Celestial Emperor. The Celestial Emperor wants to get rid of everything and break the seeds' calculations. He can actually understand a little. The only thing that can create the source is actually the seeds. If not, the Sun God would not keep chasing after the seed. Therefore, I really suspect that you're made by the Celestial Emperor. He wants to break the seed's rule. Celestial Emperor? Fong Ping sneered. Even if he is, it's useless. Do you think I'll be willing to be a dog? A dog will bite when it's anxious. Be careful not to bite them to death. Stop talking nonsense. Where is the seed? Qin Fengqing touched his chin and thought for a while. On Earth. As for where exactly, it's hard to say. You don't know? TSK, I'm not the seed's father. I'm its son, its dog. How can I know everything? Qin Fengqing said impatiently. Stop asking useless questions. First, it's in Sun City. Second, it's in Magic City. Third, it's in Capital City. In addition, Old Zhang's hometown, Old Yao's hometown, and Tai Tu's hometown could all be there. These are the only places. No, there's also the place where Polaris City is. These are the places. Take your time to find it. I'm not sure where exactly it is, but it should be in these few places. It can move? Nonsense. If it can't move, how can it create mystic realms? How can it go to the source? How can it escape the sun god's tracking? Qin Fengqing said bluntly, it can definitely move, but it may not be unlimited. There may be some restrictions, or it might not want to move now. You have to know, moving is also tiring. Right, it may not be able to actively attack anyone, but if anyone attacks it or has evil intentions, it may fight back. Qin Fengqing chuckled. This fellow is an existence that split the heavens and earth, the origin of martial arts, the god of creation of the three realms. Perhaps there was only universal love when the world was created. There's a high chance that it can't actively attack, but it can definitely fight back. There's definitely a way to protect itself. Grooming some fighters is probably also within the rules. In short, if you go looking for it and find it, it's best if you obediently be a grandson. If you want to attack it, you're just courting death. Another question. If the three realms were to be destroyed, what will happen to you and the Emperor? Qin Fengqing said lazily, how would I know? Either I go back to be a fighter for the new world, or I'll follow the destruction of martial arts. If I die, who knows what will happen to me? There's a high chance that I'll continue to be a fighter. When a new world is created, someone has to maintain order, right? Isn't it quite suitable for us, the trained dogs, to maintain order? After a few years, perhaps we can also earn the title of God. There's no martial arts in the new world, but it can't stop humans from continuing to become stronger. Either martial arts appear or high-tech weapons of mass destruction appear. Isn't this the time when fighters like us can come in handy? If you don't give birth to a son, I'll help you bring him to the new world and make him an emperor. The debt I owe you before can be considered settled. As for you, forget it. You're so flamboyant, everyone's watching you. You're dead meat. Just wait for your death obediently. Probably no one can save you. Fong Ping sneered. That won't be necessary. It's hard to say who will win or lose. If you push me too far, I'll take the initiative to destroy the humans. First, I'll get the seeds out and kill them. Then, I'll settle the score with Celestial Emperor and the rest. Do the seeds really think I'm old Zhang? Wishful thinking. Do you really think that I, Fong Ping, am a saint? What a joke. Whether the humans are destroyed or not, what has it got to do with me? I'm just not convinced that someone is riding on top of me, using me as a chess piece. Do they really think they can take me down? Fong Ping was disdainful. Suddenly, he punched the void and laughed. Celestial Emperor, we'll talk about cooperation when there's a chance. Destroy the humans and kill the seeds, provided that you give me enough benefits. I have no stand. Opposite him, Qin Fengqing was also lazy, as if he was not surprised and had no opinion. Up to you. Do whatever you want. Fong Ping did not wait for Celestial Emperor to speak. He punched the void again and asked, What's going on with Dongwang Hedu? What's going on? Qin Fengqing said impatiently, There are too many people who have no stand. Dongwang Hedu can't be like this? If he wants to transcend himself, it's not that simple. Celestial Emperor, Yang God, Cheong, and the seeds will fight to the death. They're not weak either. Can't they take advantage of the situation? However, Dong Wang might have some connection with the seeds. He might not be a dog. He might be a collaborator. Qin Fengqing suddenly laughed. Don't think that the seeds are stupid. Dong Wang might be a collaborator. The seeds also understood the trick of roping in and dividing. If all the powerhouses of the three realms joined forces, the seeds would definitely be at a disadvantage. Therefore, roping in some people and dividing some people. It was a god of creation. It still had some benefits to give to people. Celestial Emperor could not. Dong Wang tricked Celestial Emperor back then. Otherwise, the immortal source should have been replenished into the source land 10,000 years ago. In the end, there was a big mess. Celestial Emperor had some skills back then. He sold his character very well. The 9 emperors still trusted him. In the end, the immortal source plan suddenly went wrong. Zhan suddenly objected. Maybe it was instigated by Dong Wang, who secretly told him something. Otherwise, what could that bookworm Zhan know? In the end, after Zhan messed around, alright, something big happened. Everyone knew the seriousness of the problem. They all knew that Celestial Emperor might want to trap them to death. That's why there was a big mess later. How did you know? Qin Fengqing chuckled. Nonsense. He's the son of destiny. If he wants to become stronger, he needs someone to teach him, right? Don't tell me he just absorbs energy single-mindedly? There's a Ren Huang over there. He's chatting with me enthusiastically. I have nothing to do anyway. We're both dogs under the seeds. It's normal to talk about these ancient past events. It feels like you're very happy being a dog. What's wrong with being happy? Qin Fengqing pursed his lips. I've become an emperor. Why wouldn't I be happy? Don't tell me you want me to still be a rank 9, waiting for you guys to start a war at any time and sacrificing myself at any time? Fang Ping stared at him. After a while, he said, can you break away from the seeds' control? Sure. You just have to kill the seeds. Other than this, Qin Fengqing rubbed his chin and thought for a while. He chuckled. Then cripple yourself. It's very easy for the seeds to control people now. All your energy comes from it. It can strip your energy at any time. If you don't want to be a dog, cripple yourself. At that time, it won't care about a cripple. Since you're the son of destiny, why was your talent so bad at that time? Qin Fengqing said disdainfully, nonsense. It's the rise of trash. Don't tell me I've been gifted since the beginning? How can I still be considered a spy? I was trash from the beginning. Then, trash rose. Then, I was valued. Then, I obtained countless opportunities. Then, I became the great hero of the human race. When old Zhang passed away, I took over the human race. It was a matter of course. What do you know? The rise of trash is easier to be recognized. I walked step by step. It's better than reaching the sky in a single bound, right? It's a pity that it was ruined by you, bastard. Otherwise, I would be the overlord of Earth now. Qin Fengqing shook his head regretfully. Fang Ping was too lazy to continue the conversation. He thought for a while and said, the seeds usually don't care about you guys? What's wrong? Nothing. At the crucial moment, use all your strength to slash someone. It's not too late to cripple yourself after that. On what basis? Fang Ping glanced at him. On the basis that I protected your mother and didn't let her starve to death. On the basis that I borrowed so much money from you previously and you didn't return it. On what basis? Is this enough? If it's not enough, I'm too lazy to kill you now. Otherwise, do you believe that I won't kill you now? On what basis? Fang Ping did not want to reason with him. He said, why did you go to Chu mainland previously? Qin Fengqing snorted and said impatiently, to look for something. What thing? Guess your sister. Before he finished, Fang Ping already knew what he was going to say. He scolded him directly. Qin Fengqing's face darkened. He gritted his teeth and said, I'm looking for people. People who didn't die. The first batch of people who didn't die in Chu. These people absorbed the seed's power back then. Most of them died. There are still some who didn't die. At that time, what appeared was not an illusion of the seed. It was a real seed. The seed might need to retrieve that power. Do a head count and decide when to harvest it. Of course, it's best if they died naturally. Otherwise, you guys will pay attention to it. Fang Ping raised his eyebrows and scolded in a low voice, Motherf *Ker, didn't you say this before? It's a small matter. What's there to talk about? That's why I said you're an idiot. You don't deserve to be the son of destiny. Fang Ping snorted. The seeds needed to be retrieved. That was a big deal. Small my ass. Idiot. The life of a hired thug. Qin Fengqing also snorted coldly. Do you think I didn't think that there's a problem? But there's really nothing unusual. Many people absorbed the seed's power back then. Even Celestial Emperor and the others did it. I didn't see anything different. I can't be bothered to talk nonsense with you. Fang Ping was too lazy to care about him. He stretched out his hand and grabbed the void, grabbing old Zhang directly. His voice was loud and clear. I'll go back first. Godfather, you guys hug each other for warmth. I'll come after these guys deal with you. Find the stellar stones. Don't absorb them yourself. Leave some for me. Also, Qin Fengqing and the Emperor are dogs of the seed. Don't trust them too much. Kill them if you have the chance. Kill them and fill the pit. Release one is one. After saying this, Fang Ping broke through the air and quickly arrived at the door. He blasted the door and disappeared directly from the source. He left decisively. For a moment, Heavenly King Zhen and the others looked at each other, a little dazed. He left just like that? We were trapped just like that? Why did it feel like this Tao validation was a trap? Moreover, it was the kind that was tricked by Fang Ping and the Emperor. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.